Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, y'all know what time it is. Let's wake your booty up. I was going to say ass, but I didn't feel like cussing at the moment. But either way that it goes. Yeah, exactly. I cussed anyway. Look, man, it's not that kind of energy. I got to come at y'all live, raw and uncut, right? So look, again, good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It is your living split screen morning show. And look, man, we got some fire topics for you guys tonight. Again, we like to do things very free flowing, but man, there's just some fire topics to get into today. Again, we're doing it through the free we're doing it free flowing, so everything should go pretty well. Look, man, I'm here with my main guy, the man with the plan, the podcast extraordinaire, one of the most upcoming and most popular guys known to man. Not only that, but he is the man with the name, the man with the plan, Pong. So, what's going on, my guy?
Steel. Another week. It's Saturday. I can't believe it's actually been another week, man.
Yes.
Look, it hasn't been the biggest news week. It hasn't been, some bombshells dropping on us. But you know what? It is Saturday morning, at least here in the United States. Shout out to all of our European friends who have already started their day, and it's almost late afternoon now. Right. But man, you know what? It's still been a great week as far as gaming news goes. It's been a busy week for me personally, but you know what, Steel? You and I beat Outriders campaign.
Yes.
Actually, you already did. You helped me out.
Yes.
At the end.
Yes.
So, we had that going on. But no, man, it is great to be here once again, Saturday morning, episode number 4, Living Split Screen. We've already got people in the chat. We've got beautiful people like Spooky.
Let's go.
Rocket. Our buddy Spooky is in here.
Yes,
Mr. Kima is in the house. And we got to talk because Marion the Mad is here.
Uh-oh.
And if you guys did not hear about this, Marion the Mad is going to be dropping a code today live in chat for Metro Exodus, a fantastic post-apocalyptic style game in the Stalker mode from some of the original devs of Stalker. If you guys never played Stalker, if you guys never touched Metro, you're missing out. I'm not a horror guy, but you know what? You give me a bunch of guns, you give me a bunch of weapons, you give me some creepy atmosphere, I'm going to play it, and Metro is definitely one of those. So he's going to be dropping a code for Metro Exodus Xbox version live in chat at some point today. It's going to be random. So you know what? Make sure you got that Microsoft page up with the redeem code up.
Yes.
Because it's going to go quick. So, and they're also going to have a next gen update on that game. So if you're lucky enough to have one of the series consoles, you're going to be blown away because it already looks good. So 100%. I can't wait for that. But yeah, no, man, we got some great topics as always. That's the best part about Living Split Screen being organic and being able to talk about the industry. We got stuff across the board today. 100%. So you know what? I'm just excited, Steel. You know that, man. I get to be here with my brother from another Steel Rain.
You already know.
So yeah. Go ahead, kick it off, Steel.
But look, man, just to kind of kick it back into, since you went into a little bit of what you've been playing, I hadn't, I should have. Again, it's still getting used to it, man. Still trying to get that intro right. But look, it's been about the same for me. Like Pong said, man, I helped Pong get through Outriders. I've been playing Outriders just kind of nonstop since release. It's pulled me in, man. It has me 100% committed to what they're bringing, the energy that they're bringing. They've been very open and very communicative with a lot of the community, which is something that I support. I'm 100% behind, so I'm excited about that. And look, man, it's been a crazy week for myself also, but look, we're here. We're Saturday morning. We're kicking it with y'all live, raw and uncut, and just getting you woke up, or maybe getting that early evening started for those of you who might be overseas. So, but look, man, I kind of wanted to start off with something easy, something light, something that we could just touch on because it's good news, man. As a gamer, we like to start off with some good news with my phone going off in the background. So as I get ready to pass it off and continue to go through this as I set it up for you, Pong, my guy, look, man. PlayStation, man. We want to give some big ups to PlayStation. I know PlayStation's been getting a lot of smoke here recently. And again, I don't want anybody to think we're not
Some of it
platform-centric.
deserved.
Some of it deserves. 100%, 100%.
No doubt, no doubt.
We want people to understand that we are not platform-centric. We talk about everything. It's about gaming overall. It's not about just Xbox, just PlayStation, just Nintendo, just PC. It's about it overall. So if there's a company messing up, then we're going to talk about it. Whether it's Xbox or, again, Nintendo, PlayStation, PC, on down the board, we're going to talk about these things. It's whatever's going on within the communities and what's going on within the gaming tech universe as it stands. But look, man, we got some good information. Look, just to kind of start it off with, PlayStation has the fastest selling console, in dollar sales in the United States to date. Look, man, that is crazy information to know. That shows you that and I know it's the same on the Xbox side, but it just shows you that PlayStation was ready to go. Kind of falls along with some of the things that we have talked about. Some of us have talked about as early on as almost a year, is that PlayStation was ahead of the game, man. So they were ready to release consoles. They had consoles already in production. They've been pushing them out. They can't keep them on the shelf. It's the same thing for Xbox, the same thing for Nintendo. Along with the chip shortages and everything, they can't keep them in hand. Again, I think it's an amazing thing that just kind of shows you the times we're in now, especially with the pandemic, man. For gaming to have blown up as much as it have, even with the pandemic, is absurd to me. With people being inside, people spending their time doing something that they can enjoy, or maybe getting back into something that they once enjoyed. Just kind of continue the good news. Miles Morales has not only sold more than The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, but it's the third best-selling game in 2021. From what I looked up, honestly, I think Spider-Man is the overall best-selling game that PlayStation has to date. I think the only other closest game was Gran Turismo 3 on PlayStation 2, if my research serves me right, which was I think they were about 13 million. I can't remember all that. I'm doing the numbers off the top of my head. I think it was higher than that. I think it's like closer to 17, and then Spider-Man is like over 20 mil, something like that. But either way, man, it's fantastic news. It's good news on the Sony side of showing you that there's gamers that are involved, that really getting into it and enjoying what they love, man. Paul, man, how you feeling about this? What do you think about the news, man?
Dude, you know what? Well, okay, first of all, before I get into that, okay, I got to shout out some more great people, because I always feel bad if we miss people. And our chat is like ultra important to us here at Living Split 100%. Screen. As we grow, we want to get you guys more involved. So, hey, Six Slayer, brother, good to see you. I did not scroll all the way back, so I apologize for missing you. I missed JNL, Destiny 2 News. They were here early. White Hawk was here early, so thank you. Caitlin has actually jumped in the chat.
Hey,
Mav is still sleeping, she just said, which is not shocking. I'm surprised to see you here, Caitlin, but thank you guys. I know you guys had a late game night after Xbox Ultimate last night, so thank you for waking up and joining us. 3-Bit is in the house as well. Awesome to see him. Of course, my man Stubbs Gaming is here as well. You guys are absolutely incredible for showing up. HR Bombers in the house. HR Bomber waking up. Yeah, HR Bomber's here. So thank you all for coming out today again and supporting us. Now, Jago Kukin just showed up. Okay, I can't keep doing this, guys, but I appreciate you all. I love you. Thank you all for being here. It's amazing to see the names pop up as we get into the show.
Facts.
I absolutely love it, man. I absolutely love it. All right, so let's talk about this. So lots of good news.
It's awesome.
Look, overall, let's just talk about overall. Gaming industry is booming right now. Okay, it is booming at a level that's never been seen before. Obviously, prompted by what happened last year with the pandemic, it has just encouraged this extreme growth that's exploding everywhere. That's why we talk about this, Steel, all the time.
Exactly.
That's why, fun speculation, aka Mav, who's sleeping right now. We call this the golden age of gaming, and we've talked about this. We've talked about this on screen, and we've talked about this behind the scenes. Right. This is the time, and it's going. This is the time that is going to change the course of the gaming industry moving forward. It has 100%. Accelerated different things, and we'll we'll talk maybe a little bit about that a little bit later, but it's accelerated some. Yeah, we've accelerated. It's accelerated a lot of change in this industry, but it's also accelerated the growth. And right now, what you're seeing, you see these record numbers from Sony, which is fantastic. That's what you get when you are the market leader coming from the last gen, and everybody is still hyped. I mean, you sell 120, 130, whatever that number is now of PS4s.
Yes. You
come into the new gen, you're not going to be able to make enough. And with all the semiconductor woes that everybody's having across the world right now, and you can't make enough consoles to get into people's homes, you're going to see the sellout. And it's good to see. It's the health of the industry. And of course, Microsoft doesn't report NPD numbers anymore. So, but we know you can't find a Series console either.
Yes.
Now, Series S has been a little bit more readily available, which I think is interesting. I think that's the little that's the little beast. That's the little machine that is doing extremely well as well. So I think what we're seeing here is just the health of the industry overall is at an all-time high, and they can't make enough consoles right now to get into people, to get into people's hands.
Exactly.
And so, you know what? A lot of people were worried, with the pandemic, if there was going to be, maybe a problem because people weren't going to have money. Well, people have found a way to continue to video game, and new people have found a way to find this entertainment because they're stuck in their homes.
Yes.
And so here we are now. You mentioned Mario Kart 8, right?
Yes. Earlier, we talked about it in the background. It's another one of those games. As important as Spider-Man selling as much as it has and everything, there's still some games out there, man, that just seem to just continuously do it no matter what. Not to interrupt you, but go ahead.
Oh, no. Again, respect the hustle that Nintendo has, right? That those guys just continue to roll. Oh, they had the slip up with the Wii U, but they've come back with the Switch to dominate once more. And again, these older games, I'm not a Nintendo guy. Steel, do you know when Mario Kart 8 came out originally?
Originally? Oh, yeah. Lord. You threw an 8-ball at me. Hold on. I can find that real quick.
I'm just asking if you don't know offhand, neither do I, but it's quite a while ago, right? Mario Kart 8
release? 2014.
2014.
Yep.
Okay, so 7 years ago, this game came out, and we're still talking about it being in top of the sales.
Yep, top 10, even this month.
Sales. Right.
2021, and the game came out in 2014. And still to this month, it's in the top 10 games that are currently out.
Power of Nintendo, the power of the big end, man. Snap. These guys are crazy. So respect the hustle, Nintendo. But again, what this goes to show you is that Nintendo can do what they're doing, resell old games on hardware that they are making money off of on every piece of hardware versus the other two who are either breaking even maybe or losing money on. But that's the power. But again, the health of the industry is an all-time high, and it's great to see because we as gamers are benefiting. We have so much content coming out that it is absolutely incredible. Again, the golden age of gaming.
Yes.
But to your point about Sony, this is what they needed to do. I know there's been a lot of doom and gloom lately, with the decisions that Sony's making and where they're headed and what are they doing and why aren't they making the big moves like Xbox is. Look, at the end of the day, people have to realize that Sony coming into this gen as the market leader, as the mindshare leader, right, across the world, Sony has control.
Right.
They don't have to make the moves that Xbox is doing because Xbox is going in a brand new direction, right? They are trying something that's never been done on this scale in the video game world, right?
Yep.
They are going to their platform is now Game Pass. And if people don't realize that yet, it's time that you start equating those two together, Game Pass and platform, because that is the future of Microsoft and Xbox. And so they're trying something completely new. And they have to spend this money because they're in a growth phase.
Yes.
So it is important for them. And let's face it, they got the bank. Now Sony's got bank too. I think Sony's got somewhere around like 40 billion or something like that in cash on hand. But when you're talking about Microsoft, again, that's my dollar versus another person's $100, right? That's the difference here. So the deal is that we have to realize that Xbox is now having to do all of this spending, all of this acquisitions to get to where they want to be. Whereas Sony's safe, right? Sony's in a safe mode right now. And does that mean it's always going to be good? No. You can lose some stuff when you go into safe mode, but they don't have to extend themselves. They don't have to do the big risk taking that Xbox does.
Yes.
And they can sit back and they can see how this goes. Again, nobody has enough consoles people right now between Nintendo and Xbox, or between Sony and Xbox, right?
Not next
they
gen.
don't have next gen consoles. They don't have enough for people. So right now, Microsoft's doing their thing. Sony's sitting back, delayed some of their games because they don't have enough next gen consoles out there to push the software, the games, to the numbers that they need them to hit. There's not enough consoles in the wild right now. That's why you saw Ratchet and Clank get pushed back a little bit. That's probably why you saw Returnal get pushed back a little bit. Returnal coming out this month. Ratchet and Clank, I believe, is June. They pushed them a little bit just to try to get more, hands-on with the series console, or with their next gen, with the PS5 console.
Yes.
That's what they're doing. And it's interesting too. You brought up Spider-Man. It's kind of funny, as they sell more, that attach rate between PS5 and Spider-Man Miles Morales is pretty incredible, because it seems I'm sure it's close to a 1-to-1. Everybody who buys a PS5 is pretty much getting Miles Morales at this point. So that game's going to have legs for a very, very long time, because until the consoles are readily available, you're not going to see that drop off, because people, when they go and they buy a PS5, what are you getting? You're getting Demon Souls and Spider-Man Miles Morales. And again, not everybody's buying Demon Souls, because Souls games aren't for everybody. Miles Morales, on the other hand, has mass appeal.
Yes.
So you're going to see that attach rate. So those two things are going hand in hand as we get into this. So, and Steel, where we're at is that there is more money, more people, more resources than ever being put into the gaming industry. And this is just, a continuation of the good news for all the people that want to, talk about the doom and gloom. And there are some things to criticize about what Sony's doing, and, some questions about where they're headed and what their plans are, because they're not a transparent company. They're not out there in front of everybody like Xbox is, like Phil is. You're going to get this questioning, because again, when your core fan base doesn't know what your vision is, and they can't see it clearly in front of them, and the competition that maybe they don't like very much is doing a lot, it's hard to look at your own team. Again, always the sports analogies, but it always works great in this as well, because the similarities are across the board. It's hard to look at the competition and see them doing big things while your team doesn't seem to be doing anything. But again, this is Sony, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
They're not going anywhere. Okay?
Not right now.
They might be evolving, and they might be changing, and there might be stuff going on that leads to some kind of big change that people aren't necessarily going to approve of. But again, don't have to do anything huge when you're Sony and you're on the old model, and you're still fighting the good fight. NPD sales numbers, you're still on that. That's your whole model. You're doing it the old school way. You can sit back and kind of let this happen. So again, no worries from Sony. I'm not worried about Sony. It's great to see them doing good. Of course, everybody took their victory lap yesterday in the Sony camp.
Yes.
For them, I mean, that. Hey, it is what it is. Xbox, Microsoft, they don't care anymore about NPD numbers, and it's going to take a while for certain people to figure that out. They just don't care.
Right.
That's not what they're looking at. So, but here we are today. Everything's good. Industry is healthy. We as gamers have a lot to be excited about.
Exactly.
Those are my thoughts.
Exactly. And I think that's the most important part, right? Is that the fact that the fact that PlayStation is getting these W's, man, especially in a time where Microsoft just seems to be hitting them with a couple hooks and a couple jabs and saying, hey, man, we're not to be messed with anymore. PlayStation is still coming out and saying, look, we know how to sell games. We know how to market games. We know how to create games. We're going to continue to work on what we're good at. And I mean, the only thing we could do is see where it goes. I do want to take this kind of conversation. I'm going to break it up. But since we're already in this direction, I do want to hit it off with one of our key topics that we wanted to get into, because I know you said you had some of a spiel, but I'll get into it first and then I'll pass it off.
Go for it, man.
But as far as, because we do want to touch on a little bit on whether this was Sony's plan all along with PlayStation, kind of what the direction is right now, kind of how things are going, and how things are lining up comparing to the competition, right? But just to kind of break it up real quick, look, man, we got some more fantastic people in here this morning.
Big people in
I
here.
seen Assassin Looper come in, Cyber Gunter. We got the Indie Gamer. I seen Luca jump in, saying shout out to the Kings. Much love, Queen. We shout out to you. Again, we got Lupa in here. Finally made Lupa a mod. I know she's been asking. My fault, Lupa. I've been meaning to do that for a while. Again, if y'all
have Cyber Gunter,
I think I said Cyber.
Yep. Indie
but
Gamer.
again, one time, for those who are here, sometime within the show, the brother Marion the Man is going to be dropping a code for a game that you guys maybe you haven't played, maybe you have. I don't know. Can we say the name of the title? Metro Exodus. He's dropping it within the chat. Game code, live and uncut. He's coming in. Look, man, just be on the lookout as we move throughout the show, as we move through our topics, man. Just pay attention to the chat and stay locked in. Again, we appreciate the wonderful people that have joined us this magnificent morning. And look, man, we're here to wake you up, to get that jump start going as you go into your weekend, man. But look, tie it back in. Yes. Everything that Sony's doing is great. Because of the times, I feel like has done nothing but give them an extra leg to stand on, right? You get more attention. People are sitting at home. They want to play the PlayStation, man. But let's be honest. Dirt, what's going on, my guy? I want to shout him out real quick. Look, I know we were talking about a little bit in the background where you were saying, because you had brought up, hey, man, well, it was actually a couple days ago. You said, hey, man, look, maybe this has been PlayStation's plan all along, with how they're carrying themselves into this new gen, right? With them rebranding themselves PlayStation Studios, there seems like there may be some bigger plays in hand. Kind of what we're seeing with MLB The Show, kind of what we're seeing with some of the Square Enix games, just kind of coming to the competitor's platform. And to be completely honest, as much as it is good for not only competition, but good for us as gamers, just to answer PK's question, excuse me, the code is not for Steam. It is for Xbox, I believe, if I am not mistaken.
For Xbox.
The code is for Xbox. Again, shout out to Marion the Mad for providing that code. Much love. Again, you did not have to do that, man, but it's the love and dedication and support that I can't ignore, man. And just the fact that you felt like to provide it, man, I'm just eternally grateful for. Again, y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned in the chat for that. But look, PlayStation just has so many opportunities of what they could do. Them being the big dogs, them being on top. They have so many different avenues that they can take as far as going into the next gen. I know there's some smoke going around the scene, whether PlayStation just might become a strictly studio based kind of company where they just make games and put the games anywhere, right?
Some big smoke. Big smoke.
It's big smoke. I know we talked about in the past. One of the rumors that not even rumors, but you say like Boob says, we like to take those trips down into speculation town. Shout out to my friend Fun Speculation, because that's what we do it for. It's
always sunny in speculation town.
Yes, I got my white horse and chariot, and we're about to get strolling through here. So just to bring up one of the ideas that we had. I know some people have been saying, because of this whole Netflix deal. I'll go ahead and tie that in too.
Because you go for it.
Sony is tied into the Netflix deal. Well, it's tied in with Netflix. They're bringing their movies to Netflix. one, I think that's a huge benefit for Netflix because it's a guarantee, especially with titles like Spider-Man, for example, which is Sony's biggest movie title right now. It's a guaranteed get, and it's a guarantee for for people to tune into Netflix, or even Venom, because again, they're doing something. They're doing something with that whole entire universe. So to have something that's guaranteed to pull people in is a benefit. Not only that,
are you saying their movies need help? Are you saying their movies need help right now during a pandemic? Steel, is that what you're saying?
Partially, and let's be honest. Part of Sony's business is what's keeping Sony afloat is gaming and movies. That's what's keeping Sony afloat. And let's not forget, not that long ago, if Sony wouldn't have done well with the PlayStation 4, we might be talking a little bit differently right now. You know what I mean? Because even after the PlayStation 3, we were hearing those things come out. Well, if it would have went the other way, we might not be seeing the same thing that we're seeing right now. So,
forgot about Sony Insurance too, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is their big over there.
Yes, I mean Sony does do insurance, but the main things that keep them afloat is the movie side and more so the gaming side. They're extremely dependent on the console side of things, as much money as they make from everything else. It's one of those things where they have a set amount of budget that they have for Sony, and they don't like to go beyond that. A lot of what they make on a yearly basis, I think Sony made like 20 billion over the year. I'm going to check that number at some point, but however much money they make over the year, they typically dump right back into their studios, development houses, new IPs, new ideas, anything that they want to get. So anything that they want to get. Where on the other side, it's kind of small kid playing in a big park. You know what I mean? Because Microsoft can just buy. They have more of that capital to buy whatever. But with Sony branding themselves to PlayStation Studios, it kind of opens your mind up. Okay, it's like, why are you guys doing this now? Now, there's been a few ideas. Again, if you compare with the Netflix deal, them tying in just to make sure that their movies get seen. Again, we're in a pandemic. People aren't going to the movie theaters. Me personally, this has opened my eyes. I no longer have to pay $100 every time minimum to take my family out to the movie theaters. I can now pay my subscription fee, maybe the $30 or whatever the case might be. It's on HBO Max, it's on Netflix, wherever it's going to be. It's access. Now when the movies open back up, not saying that I wouldn't go, but it kind of gives you the option, right? Again, as we're seeing within gaming, accessibility is becoming a big thing. And I feel like Sony sees that too. Again, as much smoke as people like to throw around, as we like to throw around sometimes, Sony isn't dumb. But at the same time, it's also to their fault because they're not they don't communicate either. They're not going to tell you what they're planning on doing. They're not going to tell you what the plan is 9 months from now. They're going to tell you, hey, we got a game coming out some point. Ratchet and Clank is coming out. Horizon's coming out. God of War's coming out. Whenever it comes out, y'all will be ready. And they know that. And that's kind of goes right back to the whole point of Sony just having a market share. They got mind share right now. Now, are they fighting against it? Yes. Did they underestimate Xbox? I personally think so. I don't think they saw as much as we say. It's hard to say that they didn't see it, but it's kind of, to me, it comes across kind of obvious that they didn't see it because their service has been out 3 years longer than Game Pass has. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think they were caught off guard with the time frame, like how quick things sped up because nobody saw the pandemic coming.
No,
and that accelerated everything. Go ahead.
100%.
I would just want to say that they didn't realize it was going to happen this quick.
No, 100%. 100%. And to kind of build off of that, I don't think they expected from Microsoft to drop games day and date or to try to go out there and get deals, cut deals to get games day and date on their service. I don't think they were thinking that they were going to do that. They were like, 6 months to a year later, we can deal with that. We'll still cut our deals, whatever the case. But now it's like, can you cut those same deals? And it goes into the topic that we're on of is this Sony's vision overall? Has their vision changed since the middle of last gen? Because they just didn't start working on this. This isn't they just woke up one day and said, we're gonna go this direction. No, they've been doing this for a while. So it kind of opens your eyes because, again, for example, like with MLB The Show, and I'm going to use this example because it's a game that's coming out soon, right? with MLB The Show, you are crazy to think that your typical consumer is not going to look at MLB The Show for $60, $70, $100+ in some areas, overseas specifically, that 70, 80, $100 for MLB The Show versus the $10 minimum to get into Game Pass, and then $15 to get Ultimate, to pay to get into it for basically essentially free, because it's that mind share, right? If you're already invested in the service, it kind of just comes across like it's free to you. It's a slap in the face. So if I was highly invested in Sony, and I've been in that ecosystem for X amount of years, or whatever the case, and this is just like my bread and butter, I feel like that's a slap in the face. Whether I'm an MLB guy or not, I think it's a slap in the face, because what other titles could it happen to? Now, you could say, oh, it's just baseball. Nobody cares about baseball. Nobody else wanted to talk about it until now. Okay, well, I kind of want to open this page up. Look, it's a big deal, because this is just, it's like opening the floodgates, right? You get that one stick that pops out, and then, things start cracking and start shifting, and then the water starts spewing out a little bit, and then before you know it, your city's flooded out. It's one of those things that if we don't pay attention to, and look, man, Sony gamers, part of the reason that this move is so prevalent, it's so obvious, is because, look, when you have 120 plus, 130 plus million consoles out there, and you're only getting, as much as it may be great or whatever, 10% retention as far as like your games go, that's not a good look. As far as when these devs are looking at these games or whatever, yeah, they want to make their money back, but why wouldn't you want more access and more eyes on your games? And I feel like that's the point that we're getting to. Again, like I keep preaching, gaming is art. Why not be able to love our art, care for our art, and really enjoy our art in its longevity, as long as it can be alive, as long as it be kept alive? Again, people always go back to these older titles. For example, again, it's another one that people have been throwing around a lot, as much as people try to downplay it. But with Rise, Son of Rome, for example, people still go back to this day and say, man, this game still holds up. But because it was downplayed, it has that kind of shadow on it. It still has that shadow on it. Oh, it wasn't that great. Oh, it was this. But overall, graphically, 720, 900p or whatever the case, you know what I mean? It still holds up. It's, again, gaming is art. So it just kind of makes you wonder, what direction is Sony really trying to take this thing into? Now, this isn't, this is what's going to happen, or it's not what's going to happen. Again, it's all speculation. Like we talked about earlier, leading with love, Sony is not going to go anywhere, at least not right now. Within the next 5 to 10, by the time we get into that next generation, we'll see if the cloud becomes more of an obvious thing to use. xCloud, look, from personal experience, I was in the hospital not that long ago, taking care of some things with my wife, and I was using xCloud on the Wi-Fi service. Bro, look, if you're not using data, xCloud is completely useless. It just really is. It's completely unplayable. On Wi-Fi, unless you're at home in a comfortable spot, it's completely, it's useless. And I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but unless you have unlimited data, or just everywhere that you go has solid internet connection, xCloud isn't an obvious choice right now. And so we get deeper with 5G and seeing where that really goes, how much of a benefit, because as we're hearing, it could be a huge benefit, but how we don't know yet. There's so many things that are in the air that could happen, that could really change the scene. Again, Game Pass, games dropping day and date, has already started that conversation. And it's not about people caring about baseball. It's not about people caring about whatever specific game that you want to throw in that space. It's about what's being made blatantly obvious, and it's accessibility, it's value, it's again, just tying in with the value. What are you getting for your dollar? There's a lot of people who specifically bought a PlayStation to get MLB, for example. There's so many valuables, not valuables, but so many different variants that can be thrown into the equation, that it's just kind of, it's an up and down thing, man. But Pong, you felt like you had had some hot topics that you wanted to get to.
Look,
you said it was
I'm
a rant,
mayor.
but
no, it's not a rant. It's not a rant. it's not a rant because
Facts.
there's no rant here. I
Facts.
can go on my rants, but no, I'm just the mayor of Speculation Town.
Facts.
So, you know, a couple people I want to shout out. First of all, Stubbs, for this next part, you may want to mute me or turn down my volume because I know you don't like Speculation Town all the time and where I'm going to go with this. But anyways, and also Trevor Farrell Jr. Hey, okay. Trevor, thanks for showing up, man. Listen, love. He was talking about Mindshare, and he said, before I buy a game, I always check Game Pass. Mindshare is crazy.
Yes.
Absolute facts, right? Facts. Absolute truth. 100%. We're being trained to do that now, and I don't think it's a bad thing from a consumer standpoint to say, hey, maybe I can already play this in Game Pass. Maybe I should not buy this right now. Because again, that whole nonsense about people who use Game Pass not buying games has been blown out of the water multiple times now with the sales Outriders, especially most recently. So again, we can get rid of that crazy narrative. Game Pass is a gateway. It's a gateway drug, and you actually wind up buying more stuff because of Game Pass. So again, that narrative needs to go away. But anyways, as far as my thinking on this, I always like to project and think ahead, 5, 10, 15 years, because I know that's what these companies are doing. And again, I'm not some crazy business guy. I'm not a CEO. I'm not any of that. I don't claim to be, but as a guy who's been around this industry as long as I have, as far as playing in it and not only enjoying the games, but also reading up on it, having an interest in the business side of the industry, there are certain common sense things, at least to me. And again, I'm not going to say for everybody. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody can have their own ideas about what's happening. When it comes to any of this stuff that we talk about, it doesn't, again, there's no cut and dry. There's no 100% for sure. But when I look at the crystal ball, when I read the tea leaves and I start looking ahead, I think it's clear to see that we are headed at some point. Don't know when. Not going to say it's going to happen this gen by any stretch. But I think that we are headed towards a point where there's no consoles. Right, that we will be in all digital age. I think that people have to start wrapping their head around that. It's so foreign to people to even think about that. But you know what? Playing my Xbox games on my cell phone was foreign to me just probably 6-7 years ago. Right?
Exactly.
Even though we had mobile games, I never would have thought the day would have been that I could play the exact game with the exact save from my Xbox,
baby,
or my PlayStation on my phone, right? That thought would never have entered my brain. I mean, unless I thought about it. And that's what I'm doing here. So I think we've got at least one more generation of consoles after this current gen. Because I think, like you were talking about, Steel, to bring it back to where you were talking about xCloud, there's a lot of infrastructure that has to be done here to have it even close to the same experience that we get off of hardware, right? Having a console, having that PC, whatever the case may be, in your home. You have a lot of work to do, and they are working towards that point. Because
the goal.
If you look at it right now, Nintendo is the only one that makes money off their hardware, like legit money. Again, we can have the arguments about guaranteed. And why? Because they use off the shelf old tech. They get away with it, right? And again, respect the hustle, Nintendo. I mean, again, respect that hustle. You got a fan base that doesn't care. Okay, right. More power to you. Until those people speak up, you can keep doing this.
Yes.
But again, so they are the only ones that are making money. You've heard everybody complain about the hardware part of it. No company wants to have to put in. Think about how many dollars are put into R&D just to come up with a new console.
Yes.
Think about that. That's not even that's never taken into consideration when people talk about this stuff. Then you've just got the manufacturing process. We've seen what happens now when there's a breakdown in the manufacturing process, when semiconductors can't be found. And who says that this isn't going to be an ongoing problem at some point, where we start running out of resources and semiconductors aren't always available. or they're more expensive. So again, you can see the problems that there is with manufacturing hardware. It's not a fun business. Microsoft is not a hardware company. Okay.
Right.
They're a software and service company. Yep. Sony is a hardware company, and we've even seen them have problems, right? Yep. They're in the manufacturing business. They've been doing TVs, Walkmans from back in the day. They've been doing cameras, you name it. Sony's made it, and they've still had issues. Hardware is a problem. So from my perspective,
real quick, Pong. Look. In the chat, if y'all have not seen it, get that code. Metro Exodus. Marion the Mad has dropped it live, raw and uncut for you guys in the chat. Grab that code, hop into that game, have a good time. Again, Marion, I want to say thank you for doing it, bringing it to the show. That's much love, much respect. Go redeem that code. I hope y'all were ready for it. I wanted to announce it, but it makes it just that much more interesting when it comes out random. And again, just a shout out to everybody.
Guys. Hey, thank Marion when you get that code. Make sure you let us know that it's been redeemed, please. But thanks, Marion. Appreciate you so much, brother. Good friend of the community. He's around a lot of places. Marion is an awesome dude. If you're not following him, go follow him. So you know what? Awesome. Thank you so much.
Looks like JNL redeemed it.
Hey. Oh, JNL Destiny 2 news. Congratulations.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
He might be saying it was redeemed. Okay, it might have been Drunken Ninja, maybe.
Well, I already got the Metro Exodus, but thanks. So he didn't need it.
So maybe
Thank you for being honest, by the way, Drunken Ninja, and not taking something that you don't need. I love that too. Man.
That's love.
Yeah, exactly.
But either way, whoever got it, just let us know that you received it, just so we know that the exchange was solid. And other than that, man, or let Marion know that you got it. And as we move forward, I just want to touch on everybody who's watching live right now. I appreciate you for being here. Appreciate you for waking up with the Living Split Screen Morning Show.
Oh yeah, he did. Man. JNL got it.
Awesome. Excellent. Look, man, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. UK time. We're here every Saturday. We're in our 4th episode, kicking it with y'all live, raw and uncut, getting it to right now a trip into Speculation Town with the main conductor, Pong Soul, leading the caboose into the heavenly place. Let's keep it going, Pong.
All right. So where I was at was that hardware is a problem for these companies. It's not anything that they want to do if they didn't have to do, right? If they could just produce software and throw it out there to the world digitally and have it streamed or whatever the case may be, whether it was through a little stream stick or whether it was through an app on your phone, your TV, your tablet. And all they had to make was a controller, right? Because I don't think we're getting rid of controllers anytime soon. We've seen some motion controls, and I don't think we're close with being able to control things with our bodies and stuff yet. We're getting there, but I don't think that's anytime soon. So all you need is that controller. That's all they have to produce. That would be a dream come true. Everybody, trust me, that would be a dream come true for Xbox. It would be a dream come true for PlayStation. And I think at some point it would be even a dream come true for Nintendo. If they could just make whatever game they wanted to and not worry about hardware, not worrying about having to have a profit off that hardware every sale.
Exactly.
So when I look at this, Steel, I think that we are moving to an all digital age at some point. Right? And I think we've got one more generation of console, right? Okay. So that's kind of my setup. Now, we're specifically talking about my whole thing was when I was looking at what Sony is doing. And again, Stubbs, you're not going to like this, brother. And there might be some of you else out there that don't like this. Again, it's just speculation. This is just opinion. This is just for fun. Because it's fun to look at this stuff. Now, we've seen the deal with Netflix and Sony making this deal.
Yes.
Which is one avenue. Okay. But when I look at Sony, he came off of the PS. We got to go back. We got to go back a little bit. And I'll make it as short as possible. But PS2 dominated. PS2 was the largest selling console at the time. PS2 crushed. Okay. They had a huge generation. They put Sega out of the console business. We're not going to get into that argument of whether it was Sega's fault or Sony's fault. Look, they crushed, okay? They came off of that generation riding high. They put a ton, and a lot of people who are younger don't remember this. They put a ton of R&D. We're talking about a ton because, again, you got to remember, Sony has a lot going on. They have insurance, they have their cameras, they have their TVs, but not all of those, and they have their movies.
Yes.
Not all those divisions produce the same at all the time, right? So they're not consistent all the time. Now, Sony was a huge brand in electronics. They still are a huge name. Don't get me wrong, they're a huge name, but their sales, they've gotten a lot more competition as the years have gone by. But back then, they were doing pretty good. Right? They were doing decent. PS2 pushed them over the top. PS2 brought them to the forefront of the video game industry. Again, PS1 was excellent, but PS2 really cemented that status as, okay, Sony's here to stay. Sony's here to play. They're ready to rock and roll, right? They sunk a ton of money and R&D time into the cell processor for the PS3. People don't always remember the cell processor name because it was such a big deal being put into the PS3. But at the time, Sony thought that cell processor was going to run all of their appliances. They thought it was going to run all of their electronics. They were making a move with the cell processor to be like the smart appliance chip for everything. They wanted it in everything. They used to tout it as the next leap, right? That this thing was going to revolutionize all industries because it was going to be running everything. So they put so much time and R&D and money into that cell processor that when it actually wound up being a problem, and developers hated working with the cell processor, could not figure it out, to the point Microsoft and Xbox got a bunch of third-party exclusives just because they didn't want to work on the cell processor. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, but that's what kicked off the 360 era. Okay, Sony spent all this money on the cell processor, and it was such a failure that Sony themselves have come out and admitted it was almost the end of Sony. Okay, it was almost if they did not have the PS4 generation, Sony could have been in real trouble. And we got to remember, everybody likes to down Jim Ryan. Everybody, again, he's the quarterback. Again, sports analogies for all of our European friends. He's the leader, okay, of this team. He's the guy out front. He's the face. Whenever you're the face of something, you're going to get too much praise when things are really good because it's a team effort. You're going to get all the praise. You're going to get more praise than the rest of them, which is, again, team effort. That's not how it works. But again, when you're the head, but when things go bad, you're going to get dumped on more than you probably should. 100%. Jim Ryan is getting dumped on right now. And there's a lot of reasons that he's created himself for that. But there's a lot of other stuff that isn't in his control, because you got to remember, Sony has a board. Okay, Sony is still at its core Japanese-based board company. Okay, even though they moved, PlayStation headquarters over here, and Jim Ryan's done his best to make it a Western-styled office. Point being is that they're still at a core a Japanese company, and they have a board, and that board, all they care about is money. Okay. And they care about that, and they don't want the Sony brand to die off ever. Okay. They don't want the Sony brand to go bankrupt. They don't want that. So what they did, okay, and this happened, you got to imagine these money guys, these Sony board guys were probably freaking out, as you can imagine. If they were that close where they've talked about it, that it could have been the end of Sony. Even if they were being a little dramatic, gotta figure they got shook.
I don't think it was dramatic.
They got scared.
I don't think it was dramatic. I mean,
I don't. So I'm just saying, even if you did go that route and you say they were being a little dramatic, still it shook them, right? For them to come out and talk about it means they were shook at some point. And they looked at that, and I think they got cold feet at that point when it came to PlayStation being the pillar outside of their insurance over there, which is another big moneymaker for them. But PlayStation is the pillar that holds Sony together right now. Okay, it is the main moneymaker for Sony, like you were talking about Steel. And especially with the movie industry and where it went last year, PlayStation is even more important.
the movie industry went into the trash can.
right. Nobody's fault, but again, it happens.
Yes.
My point being is that I think they got cold feet. I can speculate, and this is my opinion, that when they got the cold feet from between the PS3, PS4, like they let out a sigh of relief when the PS4 happened, right? They were like, "Whoo, okay, all right, Oh, that one was close, right? I can just see them all in the boardroom going, whew. Dodge that bullet, boys. We dodged that bullet. Whew, that was close.
If you ask me, since we're still strolling through speculation town, I still think that they're probably in the boardroom like, I don't know, guys, if we drop one more game that doesn't sell that well, I don't know if we can keep doing this. Let's make another Last of Us.
Right, exactly. Let's do that. No, I don't doubt that that's part of the equation here. The whole thing. So they're sighing, right? And they're looking around, and they've got a couple of great guys in top position at PlayStation. Sean Layden and Yoshida. Okay. And no denying what they were a part of when it came to the PS4. They were a driving force that made the PS4 what it was. However, both of them were proponents of console, old school style, or proponents of giving lots of different studios opportunities. Even if they didn't make the money, they would take money from money makers and then support the smaller studios that were branching out and trying new ideas that maybe didn't hit studios like the Japan studios, right? High quality product, but never the biggest sellers in the world, but still important to the brand. Aiden, Yoshida, they were proponents of all of that. They were proponents of giving people opportunity the old school way, right? And making sure that their studios were taken care of and not trying to dissolve studios, not trying to trying to cut out studios just because they didn't make the best game the first time out.
Right.
Much like Bend. It's like Sony Bend right now in Dayz Gone and all the talk around that. That game would have been greenlit for a sequel instantaneously under Layden and Yoshida.
Yes.
Would have been greenlit instantaneously.
I mean, you saw
because they would have
Uncharted.
seen a studio on the rise, a studio who had their first brand new IP come out and do actually okay. Maybe not critically, but they did okay sales wise, and they would have looked at that and said, that's potential.
Yes.
It's potential for a brand new kind of franchise going forward, like an Uncharted, like a Last of Us.
Yes.
They would have looked at that as potential. Okay. Sony, the Sony higher ups, not about that anymore because that costs money. That costs a lot of money, okay, to reinvest in studios that don't hit it out of the park each and every time. It's a lot of money to get them going and to keep them going when you could put them on something else. No more passion projects, no more pet projects. They don't want to hear that stuff because it's a high risk proposition. So what do? What does Sony do? Sony goes ahead and looks around. Looks over across the ocean to our friends over in Europe. Hey, we got this guy, Jim Ryan, crushing it over in Europe, man. His bottom line's looking good. Look at those numbers. Bring him in and talk to him. Right? They bring in Jim Ryan, and they find out that he's a straight numbers guy. I mean, they probably already knew it, but let's just say they confirmed that he's a straight numbers guy, right? Looking at Layden and Yoshida like, whoo, so we can roll with you guys. You guys are great. You guys pulled us through the PS4. You know, it's been an awesome ride, but we want numbers at the end of the day, and we can't take these big risks anymore. We almost lost the company. We can't do this anymore. We avoided a bullet once. We're not trying to avoid two, right? Let's get Jim Ryan in a position of power. Let's make him the businessman.
Yes.
Let's bring him in to trim the fat. Okay. You bring in Jim Ryan, get rid of two great people in Layden and Yoshida. Yoshida's still there, but obviously they've relegated him to, unfortunately, a terrible position.
It's not that
go
great
away.
Position.
Here, we're gonna move you over here. You just have fun over here. Do your Twitter thing and talk about some of the great stuff coming out every once in a while. And Layden, obviously, we know the Layden story. Obviously, he's bitter. Obviously, it was a power struggle. I think why Jim Ryan won. I know this has gone on, but you got to look at this. Jim Ryan won because he's a numbers guy at the end of the day.
Yes.
Jim Ryan was brought in for a specific purpose. And I think if you look at Sony, and this is my speculation, goes all the way out into the deep smoke.
Let's go.
I think they brought Jim Ryan in. They took a look at what was happening. They saw what Xbox was doing with Game Pass.
Yep.
They know that Xbox has the infrastructure.
Yes.
They went to Microsoft and cut a deal for Azure servers, which they still have not used.
Nope.
Okay. They cut a deal because they saw the future was subscription models or some version of that. I'm not saying they said exactly like Game Pass. They saw that was the future going forward. We saw it in movies. We've seen it in TVs. Future is subscription based right now. That's what it's looking like. Everybody's adopted it.
Yes.
It's the digital age. That's what we're moving towards. Sony saw this. They realized they don't have the infrastructure. And then they started looking at what it was going to cost them. Get all the back end stuff. We're not even talking about content. We're just talking about the back end stuff, the infrastructure to handle a service like this. Okay. Then they started looking at how we're going to compete from a content standpoint. Can we compete from a content standpoint? And of course, back then, Microsoft didn't have the studios they do now, but I'm sure they were aware that Microsoft was out there shopping. At some point, they had to be aware that there was some people in the industry talk. I guarantee you they heard that.
There's been plenty of talks that they've been on the at the same table sometime. You know what I mean? Or right behind each other, trying to cut different deals. So you're hitting it out the park.
So you got to figure that Sony's looking at this and calculating and talking to Jim Ryan, the new head,
right?
Saying, what's it going to take for us to compete in this style of market? Jim probably laid it out to him. They went, that's another bullet. Are we going to sink everything we got to trying compete on the same level? Meanwhile, we're selling PS5s at probably a loss at this point, right? I think they looked ahead, as all these big giant companies do. You have to look ahead, and they see the all digital future coming. I think they realized early on that they can't compete in that space where they're at. Okay. They don't have the resources to be there. Right. And so what do? You can either carve yourself out a niche market like Nintendo. You can swim in that pond, and they have the content to do it.
Yes, they do.
Don't get me wrong.
100%.
They have the content to do it. They can do that. Does that make you any money for a company that needs you to be making as much money as possible to support the rest of your business functions? Or you look at it and go, since we can't compete, are we going to join them? Because think about this. I think that this was laid out, again, speculation town, my opinion, people, no facts, no nothing, not a business guy. Okay. This is just a guy who's been gaming for over 40 years. I just look at things from the outside looking in, and I like analyzing things just on the whim. I like to do this stuff, right? I just like to see what I see. I think they've looked and they said, we can't compete. We have to prep ourselves for that future. We're going to have the PlayStation 5. There's no doubt. We sunk all this R&D. We sunk all this time into it. We did whatever we needed to do. We have to put out the PS5 for this generation. We're going to have this generation. Jim,
talk to him.
Ryan, Buddy, Ruby. Anybody catches that, I will love you forever. If you catch that reference, I will. If anybody in the chat catches that reference that I just spit out, trust me, I will love you forever. Anyways, they said, Ryan, look, I need you to start working on the future. So here's what we need. And Jim said, I know what you need. I need to trim the fat. I need to cut away the stuff that's losing us money, like Japan studios. I need to get rid of that stuff. I need to get our studios focused on only money-making IPs.
100%, yep.
Very few new stuff. They're still going to do new stuff. Don't get me wrong. I still don't think that they're done with indies or like smaller titles or letting people, there's rumor now that Bend is working on their own new IP. It's just not Days Gone, which they should. I think they're still going to do that, but it's going to be very calculated in their investments.
That's the problem. I feel like that's a kind of a problem, though.
It is a problem, but not if you look at the future. If you are moving towards a future, you have already seen yourself become a third-party publisher. Okay? One of the best and one of the biggest publishers out the gates, right? Because you already have titles, big titles.
Yes.
If you're moving towards that future, this is what you do now. Yep. You get the books right. Okay. You cut out the fat that isn't working.
Yep.
Okay. Right now, you get yourself lean and mean. right? You get for the change. You get yourself lean and mean so that when you decide that it's time, I think it's after this generation, and there could be some things that happen during this generation that make things real interesting with this. But
yeah,
I think if you're going to continue on, I think as Sony brought in Jim Ryan to get them lean and mean and ready for the future where they just become a third-party developer, publisher, okay, and they put their games everywhere.
Yes.
Because they know for a fact, that Sony board knows for a fact. Guys, listen to me. They know for a fact there's no money in hardware, okay? Unless they went the Nintendo route and decided to start making lesser hardware. There's no money in hardware. And they know their games. It's like, what did Spider-Man sell? What did 2018 sell? 20 million?
I believe it was 20 million. I'll go ahead and
20 million somewhere.
No,
it doesn't matter. I think it was 20 million. 2018 Spider-Man sold 20 million, being an exclusive to Sony.
Yep.
What would it have sold had it been on what would it have sold had it been on Xbox? What would it have sold had it been on
50
Steam?
million?
What would it have sold had it been a lesser version been created for the Switch? What would it have sold? 100 million, maybe? 80 million? 100 million? Look, This is the reality. Software is profit.
Yes.
If you can produce bangers, I don't like that word, but I got to come up with something new. If you can produce home runs, hits, if you can produce the big guys like Sony can, if you can produce games that are beloved around the world, okay, that have mass appeal, and you can put those on all different systems everywhere. And now we're talking about phones. Now we're talking about if they did this, they would be able to jump in, drop their games in Game Pass, xCloud, get that money bag from Microsoft. My God, man, you can make a ton of money. And Sony needs that money right now. They need it. That's why they did this deal with Netflix.
Yes.
That's why there might be a partnership with Netflix. Right? On the road, Netflix could buy them, guys.
Yes.
This is not out of the realm of possibility. We still have the giant Amazon looming overhead. If you don't think they're not analyzing Sony right now, if they are serious about jumping into this game industry, which we still don't know, but if they are serious, they did just make their first studio, right? They just created a new studio. So they're starting to show signs that they're moving slow, but don't think they couldn't make a giant splash if the moment is right, if the time is right. If they analyze Sony, you could just buy all of Sony, people. Because I could easily buy all of Sony, pick it all up.
Yep.
It would have instant credibility in the gaming industry for Luna. It would have an instant catalog of games that they can go to. On top of, guess what? It'd be another $1 billion company in the gaming industry fighting with Microsoft. Guess what? Things get real interesting then. As I'm saying, people, sometimes we have to look that far ahead. The digital future is real. The streaming future is real. Okay, so unless we EMP the world and all electronics die off, right? We're headed that way. All of us old guys, we resist it. We like the physical stuff. I love my console. I never want to go without a console. But if we get the technology to a point where it is possible to have almost a one-for-one playable version, whether it's streaming or whether on hardware, all these companies are going to go for the streaming. Guarantee you, because it cuts out a huge cost. So I just think we have to look that far ahead, and I think Sony may have done that, and Sony may have decided that they can't compete on the level of Xbox. So therefore, they brought in Jim Ryan to start prepping for that future. There is a partnership, whether it's a sale or whether they just move to becoming a third-party software developer and put their amazing games. We're not talking about some random no-name company out here that has got a bunch of smaller titles that have sold maybe 500,000 copies, 200,000 copies. We're talking about big time Sony titles going everywhere and selling a ton and making a ton of money for Sony. Again, that's exactly what they need. That's exactly what their board wants.
Yes,
is profits, because they have to have it because PlayStation is such a big part of them. There you go, Steel. That's my little trip down Speculation Town. I'm mayor of Speculation Town. I love Speculation Town. I love talking about this stuff. It's always sunny. There's rainbows everywhere. There's unicorns hopping through the fields.
Yes.
I want to stay here because I like it. So there's my There it is.
And it was a solid trip. I was in the back of the buggy going for a ride. It wasn't too bumpy. It seemed like you got brand new tires put on this thing, man. There was drinks. I had plenty of, Coronas to go around. Now I'm not talking about the disease. I'm talking about the actual drink. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, we were having a good time, man. I think you definitely hit it out the park. Nailed it in the coffin. Again, I saw Whitehawk say, who wants to spend $500 billion for Sony? They're worth 240, and you got, people typically pay double. Look, man, Whitehawk, Sony's net worth in 2021 to date is only almost 100 billion. So you want to pay double, that's 200 billion. We could say 300 billion. Even at that, there's somebody who's worth, whether it's Tencent, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Netflix, if they really wanted to jump into it, would be well worth it because they know what they're getting with it. For Amazon, for example, it's the perfect play because they're already trying to get into it. Now, if you can get into something that's established, how perfect that would be. Since we're still in speculation time, I just want to hop out, stretch my legs out a bit. Even if it's Netflix, no, does Netflix need PlayStation? No, but what if Netflix wanted to become something greater than what they are right now? They want to make sure they have a guaranteed box that that their app is on, no matter what. It will be a good play. Or even if it's Google. The two players I don't want to see jump into it, maybe even three, and it's kind of why we keep going back to this, is Tencent, is Google, and is possibly Amazon, because these are players that, yes, Tencent is involved in gaming, but we know that Tencent only cares about money. They know how to make money. They know how to churn that butter and make sure that it brings out everything that they need. And they're a dominant force of that. And they'll cut people, and they'll cut a lot of the extra fat. Whereas it's like, could you imagine if Tencent would have got Bethesda? Half of the Bethesda would have been gone. And Bethesda would not be what it could be as we're going into the future. And it's the same thing for Google. If any of these companies who do not have a well-established name, have not taken the time, the energy, the effort to really establish themselves within the gaming scene, within the entertainment business, it's hard to look at those options and say, oh, well, that's a good option, because we don't know what's expected of them. We know that they're going to make money, that they want to make money, and they know that we know that they're going to take advantage of us. That's what kind of, you could say the same thing for Sony and Microsoft, but I know, especially for Sony's been in this business. This is what this is their pillar. Like, without this pillar, the entire building crashes. And then they have to dig through the rubble to really, get back, to maybe even get back on both legs. So they might have to amputate the legs and roll around in a wheelchair. We don't know. That's the thing about it. It could be that catastrophic to them. It blatantly shows you that unless you have a care or an effort, unless you have that care for it, that there's going to be some doubt there, But like you were saying, you pretty much hit everything out of the park. I feel like we definitely hit a couple grand slams on that one. I wanted to tie back in real quick.
Well, no, still, hold on. I want to get your opinion on this, because Indy brought it up too, and you jumped in when I was talking about it, when I touched on it. Oh, yeah. Which one were you going with?
No, I wanted to just tease you about him talking about him being the head of Indies.
right. Yeah, no, I saw that. No, but he did make a mention that he thinks that Sony needs to be careful about where their focus is, because they also have to develop talent, and sometimes that is in the smaller games, and those new IPs, and if they only focus on the blockbusters all the time, they're going to lose that innovation that Sony has been well known for. And you jumped in when I was kind of hitting on that a little bit. So I just want to get your thoughts about what if they only focus on the blockbusters, or let's say 80% of the time they're focused on the blockbusters and they're not giving any love to the new talent, to the new IPs. What does that do to them?
If Sony decides to only focus on blockbusters, as seemingly they're doing, they stated, we want to focus on bigger games, not so much the smaller games, because we want to make sure we make that money. The problem with focusing on on your bigger games or your in-house games, it's kind of the same thing that Microsoft was facing, right? You have these same few games that come out every 3 years or every couple years or whatever the case, and you get burnt out. The difference is that you have these single player games versus what your competitor have was multiplayer games. That is a world of a difference. Single player games, from my experience, and I'm only going to speak for myself because other people may feel differently. Single player games do not have that great of a they don't have longevity to them. You beat those games, you might touch back up on them maybe once a year, maybe every 6 months, depending on how much you love that game or depending on what kind of gamer you are. And then they're dead. There's nothing to bring you back in unless they bring out updates or whatever the case might be. For example, I'll use this example like Spider-Man. When Spider-Man came out, I beat it on the hardest difficulty that I could play at. But guess what? I stopped playing my PlayStation for about a year, and I never jumped back in because a lot of that content wasn't there, and I kind of just had to move forward. Now, do I want to play that content? Yes. Will I get an entire console for it? No, I don't. It's not that important to me, because I do see, again, since we're still in speculation town a little bit, I do see it coming to PC at some point, just to make some more money. Why wouldn't they? It kind of adds up to what everyone is what's going on right now with them being dependent, with them buckling down on what's making them money. Spider-Man is, Last of Us is, Uncharted is. Those are bangers that you know that you could depend on. You can re-release, remake, put out, add a multiplayer to. Again, if Last of Us 2 or Last of Us, because we know they're going to come up with a collection now. If they drop factions into Last of Us, boom, that drives sales, that drives longevity into your product, and that makes people, again, you're getting back into that market share. I think.
How many times can you do that, really, Steel? How many times can you do that? How many times can you withhold parts of a game, and then so you're going to put out something later on, because that's what they did with factions,
to me that's a turnoff. Yeah. I think that's a turnoff. The fact
that's what I'm asking.
The fact that people aren't complaining that they literally told you that factions was supposed to be coming out with Last of Us 2. They said, "Oh, we're going to have to push it back." They pushed it back and never said anything else after that. Correct. I mean, people are just okay with that. I've never seen these PlayStation, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're still waiting on factions," or just casually. They dropped you half of a game, and y'all are just like, "Oh, whatever, it'll come." Almost 2-3 years later, they're gonna re-release it into a collect. They never gave you the other half of the game. They never brought it out, but you paid $70 for that game. Okay, you enjoyed it. There's people who enjoyed it and people who didn't like it. The fact that they're moving down this path sounds extremely detrimental, because you're doing the same thing your competitor was doing, and people complained about, "Oh, all you got is Gears, Force, and Halo. Oh, and these other few third-party games that you got to cut all these deals." And now look at you. How many studios does PlayStation have? Was it like 11, 12?
12, I think. I think they're at 12 or 13.
PlayStation has 11, 12 studios. Xbox has 23 with 30 plus teams within those studios, and they're still looking to acquire up to 30 studios.
Content's king. Your
competitor has not only doubled, but is looking to almost triple what you're developing. It's a problem, man. It's extremely detrimental, because, again, one of those key points, like you were saying with Sean Layden, he had faith in those games. You wouldn't have got Uncharted. You wouldn't have got Uncharted 2 if they didn't see the potential of Uncharted 1. You wouldn't have got the second.
He was like Phil. He was like Phil. He was a gamer.
Exactly.
He was a gamer. He understood the culture. He understood what it took to make a game appeal to people, but he also understood that you had to have diversity and you had to have that small talent developed in order to get to the big home runs, to the bangers, right? You had to have that line.
Yes.
You can't just focus on one thing or the other. You have to have all of it.
Exactly. And that's what kind of ties me into my issue has always been with these companies is, how are you a gaming company? You don't have like some form of a gamer in charge. Why do you not have some?
You aren't concerned. Because, like I said, Stu, you're not concerned about that anymore. You're concerned about the bottom line now.
Right, exactly.
That's all you're concerned about.
Exactly.
Period.
I mean, and it's not just that example. There's so many more examples of that. Why you have the people in places that aren't gamers but want to make gamer decisions. Again, like Pong was saying, it shows you that they're on a different mental path. They've closed.
I'm sorry. I had this image of Jim Ryan trying to play Call of Duty, and it was just killing me. I can't imagine this guy holding a controller, looking at it like, what do I do with this thing? No disrespect to Jim Ryan, but we just know he's not a freaking gamer, right? We just know he's not. And go ahead. Sorry, continue. I just had this image.
And Bond was making a point, but those 12 teams are pumping out games. Do you consider games coming out every 2 to 3 years pumping out games? Because, I mean, let's be real. Before the Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us 2 dropped, what games were we talking about before that? Spider-Man. What game were we talking about before that? Let's be real. Let's be honest with our conversation. People say that, oh, these 12 teams are pumping out games. Yeah, every 2 to 3 years, maybe a game a year, maybe 2 games a year. Have y'all not paid attention to that? Other than that, everything else is second and third party. Yes, Xbox has not put out a first party game in however long. And that's part of the conversation, right? And they're working towards that. Again, if you haven't saw the writing in the sand, nobody said, "Hey, wait, let's wait. We want you to wait." I know that's what people have been running with. Oh yeah, Xbox guys, we want you to wait. We want you to wait. No, go buy what you feel is most valuable to you. Whether your dollar is most valued, go over there and play those games. For me, it's not enough. And you can say, oh, there's still more than Xbox has. Guess what? Bomber, just for in that example, it is not enough for me to buy a PlayStation. Right. Again, I will give you this example. Gundam Breaker 3 is what made me buy a PlayStation 4. No other game. I didn't know it. No other game that came out was like, hey, you should get one. Nah. And if I'm that way, there's so many other people who are also that way. They're going to wait for a specific game to come out to decide to get that console, to invest in that ecosystem. And guess what? After I played, because of Gundam Breaker, I was able to, which is the third party game. Because of that game, I was able to play Spider-Man when it first released. I was able to get into God of War. I was able to touch a little bit on The Last of Us 2. But again, like I keep saying, until that multiplayer dropped, I'm not going to invest into it. There's just so many more factors that run into that. And again, nobody's telling you to wait. Xbox has said since 2013 that they're making changes, that they're adjusting things, and that things take time. Phil has said, look, this is what we're going to focus. We're going to work on the back end. And then the games has become the last thing for them to really bring out to the forefront. And you see that with what the plays are making now. You have all these studios that are just recently acquired within the last couple of years. And within, again, nobody's saying to wait. Don't wait. You're a gamer, right? You don't have to wait. Play what you want to play. But understand that you make the overall decision of how your dollar gets spent. There's just things being brought to the forefront that are being made very obvious. And again, it seems like Sony has a different mentality this generation, which could be, to most perspectives, isn't the best positive thoughts, and it's coming across very negatively. Again, without PlayStation communication, really, we don't really know what's going to happen. So it's kind of it's up in the air of what direction we can really take this into. So
there's a lot. There's a lot of different
it's a lot, and we can keep talking about this for hours. Again,
we could do it forever.
We've already spent 90 minutes diving deep into this. You know what I mean?
And you and I have talked behind the scenes about it. But again, there's so many different possibilities that can happen out of this gen. But I just think that everybody needs to start wrapping their head around the idea that change is coming.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not. And I know as gamers, as human beings, a lot of us don't like change. I get it. It's tough. I think a lot of people have their head in the sand about where this industry is going and about what the possibilities happening actually are down the road. Not that they will be 100% for sure. Not that everything that we talked about here is going to be the one. Not that like all of a sudden Nintendo is going to have the most powerful console, in the industry on the market at some point, and it's a handheld, Yes, is that a possibility? Sure, that's a possibility. But at the end of the day, what we're talking about here is that the industry itself, because the pandemic accelerated everything.
Yes.
Okay, it did. There was changes already happening. We saw it, right? We could see it happening, but the pandemic accelerated. So I just think it's important that we talk about this stuff because it's exciting. I know change can be scary, change can suck, change can be like, no, I don't want that to happen.
People are scared for the digital age.
Right. Shout out to Noof Nukem, who is, obviously physical guy all the way and
Nothing
still,
wrong.
Won't get Game Pass. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's your choice. That's the good part is we still have choice. But what I'm saying is that a lot of times we fear it. But for me, I've gotten to the point in my life now where I look at change a lot of times as exciting. And I think I can't wait. What I'm seeing come out right now with the content, what I'm seeing while I'm laying in bed with my phone, with my Razer Kishi playing Octopath Traveler through the xCloud, that's amazing to me, right? My save instantaneously there. I just pick up where I left off. I can hop off my series console, go upstairs to the bed, get ready for bed, up on my phone, and I'm in the exact same spot I was when I left my Series X.
Exactly.
That to me is crazy, right? Again, that's not something I thought possible, just 7-10 years ago. I never would have thought that was possible, but here we are. So this to me is just an exciting time for gamers. The golden age of gaming is upon us. There's a reason why we keep saying that, and I love it because it's true. We're going to see more stuff than we ever have seen before as far as content, as far as change goes, as far as technology goes. We're seeing it happen before our very eyes. We are like at the origin story of what the new gaming industry is going to look like right now. We're seeing a transformative time, and you don't get this again. I've been through a lot. You've been through less, but I've been through a lot of points like this. I went through the crash. I was young, but I went through the crash, the video game crash. Who knows? Never survived had it not been for Nintendo coming along. There's been transformative periods of time in video games, just like every other industry. And we are in one right now. And that to me is exciting. That is exciting. So,
and just to burn this topic alive, but before I burn it up and throw it in the trash so we can be completely done with it, because we've just been hitting home runs on this.
We're gonna be pulling it out at some point. We're gonna be pulling it out of a different episode at some point because we're gonna be talking about this for a very long time. That's
for sure.
Don't burn it.
Well, I'll put it in this lockbox and see what we're gonna do with this lockbox. And it's the same thing we're talking about my mama's titties. We're gonna put it in this box. We're gonna lock this box up, and then we're gonna throw this box in the ocean. All right, and then we're never gonna think about this box again.
We're gonna pull it out. We're gonna see how right we were.
There we go. We'll go scuba diving for it and dig it out of the sea. But I just wanted to shout out. Look, again, the energy, the love, the appreciation that everybody is bringing into the chat, and just being here, tuned in to the Living Split Screen Morning Show, your morning show every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, and 3 p.m. UK time. Please hit that like button, subscribe, share it out, tell all your friends, tell your mama, tell your girlfriend.
Help us.
Look, we're trying to get us out there. We're that no nonsense kind of morning show. You know what I mean? Just talking about gaming overall, as the industry overall. As you see, the last few episodes have been kind of Xbox heavy, but this time we went into a different direction. That's what it's about, man. It's about what we have on our minds currently, what's going on through the community, what's going on in gaming currently, and just taking it to that next level. Showing love, showing appreciation, and again, it's for y'all. Y'all showing up is the reason why we decided to do this. Why we wanted to bring the live, raw, and organic energy into the scene, man. Look, just to kind of put the nail in the coffin. Again, what is wrong with, if this is the way that PlayStation want to go? To me, it looks like we're going to get to the point, like you were saying, Pong, we're going to get to a point where everything is just based off a streaming service. Why not be able, if you're going to continuously, and I will stand on this mound, if you're going to continuously put out, make these changes, or continuously compare Microsoft to Netflix, then why can't Sony be Hulu? Why can't Sony be Disney Plus? Why can't anything else that is gaming involved be whatever service, and you just invest in that service, and then you have access to your games? That's what Microsoft is trying to show you right now. The options, the accessibility. Again, as Phyllis said, he does not like the fact that games are so secluded to certain platforms. He wants access. He wants people to be able to play whatever game they want to play, where they want to play it, how they want to play it, and it's up to us to see the vision the same way that they saw the vision with the digital age that y'all denounced in 2013, and y'all saw 2017 when y'all were finally ready for everything to be digital. Game Pass came into play, and more things have just started stacking the deck. Microsoft is constantly shuffling the cards, man, and you never know if the ace is going to be played next. That's kind of what we're living in right now. And hey, man, like we say,
for the first time, look, for the first time, honestly, at the end of the day, if you look at it, for the first time, really, that I can remember, we have 3 video game companies doing their own thing.
Yes.
At the end of the day, each one of them doing their own thing, which is crazy. Like, again, yeah, you can still say they're competitors, but really they're competing in totally different ways right now. And that's a good thing for us gamers.
Yes.
Because it really is. It's driving innovation. It's driving the industry forward. And we'll see how it all plays out when the dice are finally stopped rolling. We'll see what shows up.
Yes.
So,
excellent.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, we definitely hit that out of the park again. Appreciate y'all for watching. Look, as we roll into the next topic, look, man, this is something that you wanted to touch on. I feel like we're definitely going to touch on it. The Indie World Showcase, man, happened earlier in the week. They showed us some fantastic titles. Want to move into some Nintendo talk again. We're a non-biased show, man. We talk about everything within the gaming scene, within the gaming community, just to bring light to everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the Indie World Showcase up on screen for you guys as we swap over to that, just so you guys can kind of see what we're talking about, the different games that we're talking about as we roll through it. And it's also broke down. They have everything timestamped, so it should make it a little easier. So with that being said,
Don't stress. It's not a big deal if you can't find it.
No big deal. It's already here. But for all those watching, hopefully the video comes in smoothly. If there's any issues, let me know. Shout at me. Pong, I'm going to let you carry this away as I move into this. So here we go.
So earlier this week, we had the Indie World Showcase. Shout out to Indie Gamer, by the way, for putting on a great live show, reactionary show while this was going on. It was just a short show. Again, this is Nintendo, Indie World, but it does a lot of these games are going to be coming to all consoles or multiple consoles or PC and consoles. So a lot of cool stuff was shown here. It was a short show. Hey, by the way, Twitch, if you guys are out there watching, go ahead and take a look at Indie World and see how it's really done, how to showcase a bunch of indie titles without boring everybody to death.
Facts.
And losing interest in what's actual point of the show, which is the games themselves.
Yes.
And even still, this short of a show, showing off, 12, 15 titles, whatever they did, still getting the developers involved and still giving them some face time as well during the show. It was an amazing show. It was quick. It was rapid fire. I loved it. But they showed a lot of great stuff. So I just wanted to point out a few of the games there that kind of caught my attention. So obviously, again, a lot of these games, some of them are Switch only, but there are some that are multi-platform. And obviously that's what I was looking forward to. But again, Indie Gamer did a great live reaction to this with some great people. Go check that out if you guys never checked it out, because it was pretty awesome. But a couple of them, Aerial Knight. Anybody who hasn't heard of Aerial Knight, this developer, he's a single developer. Steel, I know you've heard of him.
Yes.
This kid is amazing, right? Okay, he did an interview with the Iron Lords. Shout out to Iron Lords podcast. He did an interview on there that just blew me away. I had not heard of this game. Obviously, he's an indie developer. He's a small time. He's a single guy, but he's creating this runner, and it's called Never Yield.
Yes.
Okay.
Aerial's Adventure.
Aerial Knights Never Yield. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. This is awesome looking, and the soundtrack is amazing. And I think I just saw on Twitter yesterday that they actually have the soundtrack available everywhere.
Yes.
I think on Spotify, all streaming services. So check that out. But the soundtrack, but it's a runner. I know runners aren't for everybody, but the style that he brings to this with the music and his story that he wants to tell is blowing me away.
Yes.
So I'm not the biggest runner fan, but I know what I'm going to play this game just because
Yeah.
I just love where he's going with that. So I can't wait for this one. I believe it comes out. This one I don't know if it's multi-plat or if it's Switch only. That I have not been able to confirm. I don't know if he's doing it, but I know it comes out May 19th on the Switch.
I believe it is multi-plat. When he talked about it before,
Okay.
I think he said it was coming out.
I couldn't remember
everything. Well, as many devices as he can get it to. I knew for sure it was supposed to be coming to Xbox.
Published by Head Up Games,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's published by Head Up Games, and I don't know if it's coming out same day or not, but May 19th is the day it comes out on the Switch. But you guys check out Aerial Knight and his Never Yield.
Yes.
Great. It's he describes it, I think, as Tokyo style. It's set in Detroit,
Okay.
Michigan. So yeah, it's got that feel. It's pretty sweet.
Bomb art style. So I'm definitely feeling it.
Really bomb on style. Then another one I want to talk about is Ollie Ollie World. I think most people probably remember Ollie Ollie series. Amazing titles. Ollie Ollie World looks fantastic. Like they take it to skateboarding to another world, another level, right? And you're traveling. I think this one takes you across the globe. And this one is coming multi-plat. So this one's not only on Switch, but it's also going to be on Xbox and PlayStation as well. But Ollie Ollie World, that style, they've actually updated it. They've gone to more of a it used to be, I don't know how many people have played Ollie Ollie, but back in the day it was more pixel style.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've gone for they've actually done a like a hand-drawn kind of style.
Yes.
So, people who remember Ollie Ollie back in the day, the control on it was amazing. That was it was really responsive and just a joy to play. But now that they've updated the art style, it brings it more current and it looks really, really cool. As an old time skateboarder back in the day, I actually did that. I did skateboard. I wasn't very good, but I did do it. But yeah, as an old time skater, this gives me some kind of feelings, man. So I can't wait to get my hands on Ollie Ollie World. Another one, obviously I can't do this. If anybody didn't watch the show, they did another full blowout on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Okay, any old school arcade fans out there, you know this is the game, right? But they've done these guys tribute tribute games and Dotemu, I think it is, or Dotemu, or whatever the heck their name is. They have done an incredible job going back and bringing back that old experience again. Because if you look at this game, you would swear this was the high point of the 1990s, and you're sitting in an arcade playing it, man. Guarantee it. And any of us old guys out there and old gals out there who were at the arcades or the bowling alleys or your roller skating rinks will remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this right here is prime. I still trying to find out if it's going to be online co-op. I have to imagine it is, but I thought Battletoads would be,
I think
and that wasn't.
I think they already announced that there was going to be online co-op and everything.
Right.
So
well, good, because you and I are sitting down and playing.
I'm tearing up.
We're gonna get Mav. We're gonna get whoever. We're gonna get 3-bit.
Whoever's ready.
Whoever else. Psycho.
Yeah, don't steal my lives. Don't steal my lives.
wait. Favorite turtle. Favorite turtle.
I'm going to have to go to Raph. I'm going to have to go Raphael.
Raph?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Team
I'm
Red
Donatello.
Team Red on this one.
Oh, but Donatello. So we can match up. We won't be fighting over the same guy, which is good.
Raph or Leonardo is my guy. What are the other?
All right. Yeah, but guys, Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, go check out the new video that they dropped during Indie World. Man, if you don't just get goosebumps thinking about the old days watching this, I don't know what to tell you, because man, as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan and as the arcade fan goes, this is just speaking to me. They've done an incredible job here.
Thanks.
So I can't wait for that one. And that one didn't really have a release date. They said later this year. So we know it is, and we know it's going to be it's going to be across all platforms as well. They're not holding that to Switch, so that's a good news.
That's dope.
Next up, Chris Tales.
Okay.
Chris Tales has been a game I have been all over for a very long time. The demo is on Xbox and has been on Xbox for a very long time. So if you don't know about this game, go check it out. I did a short review on one of Indie's shows a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
He had me on. This was my most anticipated indie game. This game is a classic style ode to JRPGs from back in the day. The art in this game,
it's superb.
It's right. It's not. I understand everybody's got their own eyes and everybody's got their own taste.
That's good.
But for me, this is just gorgeous, my friend. This is just. I would take screenshots of this and hang it on my wall as art. That's how beautiful this game looks to me. And it's got this. And anybody who's got love for JRPGs, they specifically talked about that this was a love letter to those old JRPGs. Yes. But they have a twist. You can actually do some time traveling in this game. And you can see, so let's give this example. You can be fighting an enemy and you can go back in time and cast a spell like a wet spell on his armor and then go forward and his armor will be rusting when you're fighting him in the current. Yeah.
That's dope.
And you can it's really dope. And on top of that, you're fighting the time queen, I think they call her in this. And you're trying to beat her. So you can see what your decisions, you'll make decisions from time to time in this game, and you'll be able to see those decisions, what they affect in the future also on the screen. So you'll be able to see what you did, how it changes things, right? So it's got this cool time effect throughout the entire game. But again, what drew me in is the art direction. The style that this game has is out of this world. The cutscenes are amazing. Go check it out, guys. That's Chris Tales. Absolutely incredible. It's from Modus Games and D Uncorporated. And that's coming out July 20th. They actually announced the release date in this show. So absolutely go check it out. The demo's out already. I've played through it multiple times and I love it more each time. Now a new one that caught my eye is Aztec Forgotten Gods.
Okay.
You find that one, Steel?
Yep. I'm pulling that up right now.
Aztec Forgotten Gods came out. I had never heard of it. And I think I just saw on Twitter yesterday that it is going to be on all platforms as well.
Okay.
When it comes out, I don't think there's a release date. I think they said for the Switch this fall, and I don't know if that's across the board or not. But this caught my eye because of the style as well, but because they took a twist. You're fighting some of the Aztec gods in this it's a 2D, 2D hack and slash action style kind of game, right? It supposedly has some roguelike elements to it too. Yeah. I love it's like Stargate, guys and gals. It's like if you guys remember Stargate, Egypt, back in the day, but aliens. So you got this future technology. And yeah, it looks awesome because this has got a combination of like Aztec with futuristic sci-fi elements to it. It looks so good.
For sure. I mean, it looks like kind of reminds me of because you said 2D. I saw some 2D portions. I also saw,
but there's also
3D
some
portions.
3D.
It kind of gives you get that gameplay feel of like Nier. You know what I mean? How Nier really tries to take you. I feel like with Nier, they try to take you on an adventure of like just gaming history. You know what I mean? It's like you're playing so many games within one game, but you're also kind of reminiscing on different titles or different aspects of different genres within one game, and that's what makes it unique. This looks to be doing something very similar to that. And again, I mean, just from for those who are watching the vids, bro, it looks extremely dope. I'm interested in it, man. I hadn't heard about it until just now.
Neither had I when I was watching the show. Yeah, I thought that was pretty freaking cool. And then we got to see a little bit more. I got to throw this out. We got to see a little bit more of Art of Rally. Yes. Any of you racing fans out there, if you have not checked out Art of Rally, look. The style is simplistic. It's beautiful. And when you see it in motion, as a car lover, as a race fan, as an old school RC Pro-Am lover back in the day, that 3/4 view, whatever you want to call it, isometric view, it is an absolutely stunning game. They did a little montage for that one, so I don't even know if they've got it
Yeah,
in there
they
still.
do.
It was a short
do.
piece. Okay. My God, Art of Rally looks more and more amazing. Indie Gamer, again, shout out to Indie Gamer. Shocking, we're talking about indie games, and now I'm just giving shout outs to Indie Gamer because that man has turned me on to so many different indie games. It's incredible. And he does awesome work. And if you guys love indie games, you never checked out the Indie Gamer, go check him out. Shout out to Indie Gamer. But he turned me on to Art of Rally because he was, yeah, exactly. He was playing Art of Rally on his channel months and months and months ago. And I was like, what is this game? And he's like, it's Art of Rally, PC, Steam. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not a PC player. He's like, don't worry, it's coming. Well, guess what? It's coming to all platforms soon enough. So Art of Rally is going to be one of my big ones. Gotta do this one, man, because this brings me back. The House of the Dead remake.
Yes.
Again, I think this is Switch only, but I would imagine they probably going to bring it unless they funded it. I think they might own the IP. I don't know if Nintendo owns the IP, but a House of the Dead remake. My God, it's an on-the-rails shooter way back in the day. I don't know even if you remember it, Steel.
Wasn't it in the arcades where they give you the guns and everything for it?
Yes.
Of course.
And then came to consoles. Okay, yeah, on the rails, classic shooter. They are remaking this game. I cannot wait. Like, I hope it's coming elsewhere besides the Switch because man, I want to play this game again. But if it doesn't, I don't know, but I'm still excited for it because it's just cool that they decided to go do that again, right? So
it's definitely interesting.
And then finally, they ended the show. I don't know if everybody is going to know about this game, but it really is a good game. I played it and I played a lot of it and I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't finish it. It's more narrative driven adventure game, but it is very cool concept and highest quality stuff you will see as far as writing goes. And the story itself, what they're trying to get across and how they put like the kind of adventure puzzles together that you're trying to figure out within the story. Excellent work. And this is Oxenfree.
Yes.
They announced Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals at the end of the show. This was that one more game. We got one more thing for you moment. I know Indy was obviously hoping for Silk Song, but that didn't happen. But we got Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. So go check this out, guys. Like I said, I know it's not going to be for everybody. It is a narrative adventure game, but it is a beautiful game in its own right. And I think you should at least, try the old one. I can't remember if the old one's on Game Pass still. It used to be. I don't think it is anymore. But anyways, the first one's on Xbox. I assume once again this is going to come across all consoles, all platforms. But go check out the trailer. It looks amazing. It looks fun. They updated some of the graphics a little bit more, but I think it looks great. I'm going to give this one a try, even though I didn't finish the first one. I just like it. See if this one grabs me and holds me through the whole thing. But it was a big. I know a lot of people are excited for that one, so I want to point that out.
Facts.
Oh, yeah, that's my Indie World showcase right there.
Hey, that was excellent, man. I mean, you ran through a lot of fire games. I hadn't actually paid attention to it myself, just because. I mean, again, I'm not particularly a Nintendo guy, but I do have a Switch. My daughter's playing on the Switch all the time, so I do try to stay updated on those. And it's kind of rare that you've I'm not going to say rare, but I'm not as involved in the loop, and it's kind of helps with this, right? While we're not platform centric, because we can have these conversations, right? We might not be, as you say, Switch guys, but we can still have a conversation about it, shed light on it, and tell other people about it, and bring proper representation.
Celebrate the industry. Celebrate the industry.
Microsoft.
That's what we're here to do.
Sony, if you got some indies that you want to get out there, Pong and Steel are your guys. Living split screen, just ask us. We'll bring the energy for you. But
excited about gaming, guys. I'm sorry. I know some people aren't. We are excited about gaming.
Yes,
and there's so much coming out. And Indie World was just another little thing. Like, I didn't know about it because I'm not a Switch guy, but Indie Gamer threw it out there. And I think the guys from our good friends over at Green Pass Gaming, they did a live reaction as well on it. That's the only reason why I knew about it, is because other people said something. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to go watch it because a lot of this stuff is going to be across all platforms. So I'm going to see it on my Xbox sooner or later, my PlayStation 5 when I get one, and maybe a Switch if I wind up getting one. So yeah, but we're just excited about gaming, guys. So we're going to talk about all things gaming. Again,
no, facts.
We just love it.
In facts, Indie. In facts, I'm not saying the focus isn't on Nintendo. It is on the indies. Right. It's just the focus is going to be on Nintendo. Also, is because they did it within their event. There are very popular indies that are within that, which is important. Again, without something like that, bringing the light to those games, they get missed over. Like, I wouldn't have saw those games until kind of pretty much now. And now it's like I saw at least 2 or 3 games that I was like, okay, I'm looking for those. It might not be necessarily on Nintendo that I'm looking for them, but if they come to PC, if they come to Xbox, or if they come anywhere else, I'm highly interested in playing those titles. So again, man, it sheds so much light on what we got going on. That's what makes it so great, right? He said, why are y'all so happy about gaming? Jeez. Because
we're not allowed to do that nowadays, man.
Because that's what it's about, man. Bring the energy, bring the Bomber. Yeah, somebody please report us. We shouldn't be so excited. It's about, it's about bringing that's part of the problem within our industry, man. Within this industry, there's not enough people who can talk about it objectively, talk about it with excitement, bring the energy, bring the vibe to make others. Because again, I'm pretty sure I can speak for, I'll speak for myself, but I'm pretty sure I can speak for Pong also. I at least have 20 years of just customer service and sales experience, right? So I can't help but to pay attention to what the masses pay attention to what the consumer is going to pay attention to what your hard, from anywhere between your hardcore to I like to call them softcore, those guys that aren't don't really. We're not talking about porn. We're not talking about porn.
Okay,
we're not talking about porn. Even though porn drives the internet.
A different channel. That was gonna be a different channel.
Oh, that was gonna be our Patreon, right? We're gonna do a whole Patreon segment about porn and gaming and how great it is.
Don't go there.
Oh, okay, my fault. But yeah, man, it's one of those things. If we're not going to bring the attention to it, then who will? Again, that's why we're here, to bring you that energy, to bring you that live, raw, and uncut aspect, as I always say. But with that, as we're getting towards the end of the show, I don't have much more to say about the Indie World showcase. Pong pretty much knocked it out of the park. I don't want to reiterate the same games because it's pretty much the same things I was interested in. We talked about it a little bit in the background. So with that being said, this time, the time has finally come. We have come to this day in gaming, where I go back almost 30 years of gaming history and just kind of shed some light on games that have come out throughout the years, on this Saturday. Not this specific. It might have not been this. Well, it is the 17th of April. 17th of April, or as I tend to do, whatever the date is, I pull up the information of what games have come out within the last 30 years from today, just to kind of shed some light onto them. Because again, shout out to the Brother Everborn saga. Gaming is art. It should be treated as such. So let's run through these topics, man.
Shout out to Everborn. What
I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna see if I can show off some of this stuff. Oh, excellent. It looks like I can. Shout out to Game Facts, because that's another thing that I've been wanting to do and actually be good about is when I go to these different sites, we pull these ideas. Just because it was my idea to bring it to the forefront doesn't mean that I went through and pulled them all together. Again, I'm 28. Yeah, I'm sure.
Take credit.
No, I'm not doing that. I can't. I can't be honest. I can't be live, raw, and uncut with you guys and say, "Oh, I put this list together for Game Facts." No. But as y'all see, man, this day in gaming, again, it's an opportunity for me to bring these games back up. And as we go through it, hopefully y'all like the layout that I brought it in. Hopefully, Pong, you can see it also, because I wanted to bring it up so that you can also see as I'm going through the list. And we can kind of go through it together. So if there's some of these that y'all might want to talk about within the chat, bring up some conversations, do that, man, because this is what this segment is for. Look, so 36 years ago, 1985, NES released the Championship Load Runner.
Japan only. We never saw that here.
In Japan only, yes, facts. It seems like within these first 2-3 years, it seems like a lot of Japan only titles. And I know, and this is going to be shout out to all the people that might have been importing their games to their consoles, which I know a lot of people have been doing. We're doing.
Rygar. Oh, Rygar came over though. Rygar was here eventually. Fist of the North Star. Oh yeah.
So as we move now,
we're gonna get jumping ahead. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
You're announcing some solid titles.
Look, I'm looking at names and I'm getting excited.
Yes, facts. Exactly. See, that's the point. 35 years ago, same day, Atlantis no Nazo, which released in Japan, and Ninja Kid, which released in Japan, came out on the NES. A lot of NES titles are starting off really early, which is dope, man. Again, reminiscent. Fist of the North Star, Japan released. That is a familiar title. I've seen a lot of gameplay for that game. I believe I've touched it through emulation before also. Again,
see the anime?
Yes, I have seen the anime. Do I remember it? And can I talk about it right now? No, because it's probably been at least 10, 15 years since I've watched it.
On a plot breakdown right now. Give me the short plot breakdown.
It's not about to happen. It's not. But all right. Well, we got Renegade in Japan that came out in Japan on the NES, and Rygar, as Pong was getting so excited about.
Why can't we get a new Rygar?
Rygar seems like it would be a good game. Another one that I probably played through emulation, but wouldn't be able to give you a deep dive on right now. All right, so as we get into more of a recent, 20 years ago on PC, Evil Island's Curse of the Lost Soul, man. Crazy. 20 years ago, PC games were already hitting it upside the head. 2001. Think about it. 20 years ago was 2001. Man, that blows my mind.
Ain't nothing, man.
Exactly. DS.
Me. For you. For me, I was already in my 20s. I was in my mid-20s. I was raising kids.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. 15 years ago, man. 15 years ago, 2006, DS released Brain Age. Train your brain in minutes. Oh
yeah, I used to play those.
Brain Age used to be good stuff, man.
Used to be dope.
Let's see, 14 years ago, PlayStation 2, Tokyo Extreme Racer Drift 2. Whoa, so good. Man. Yes, that was a good game. I definitely remember that game. Let's see if I can bring up a link for it real quick. Just because.
Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Oh man, y'all see that? Y'all see that? It was
Mav was in here. I know Mav would be loving this right now.
It was definitely an excellent game, a throwback game from back in the day for those racers. More arcade style, but definitely worth it. PSP, man. Valhalla Knights.
I rocked it. Oh yeah, for sure.
Man, gosh, when you think about it, PSP days, man.
Underrated.
Lord.
Underrated.
My PSP was so modded out.
Do you know what? But yeah, I know. And then they had to go try to do the PSP Go. See, ahead of the curve, they were already thinking all digital. It was the wrong time, just like it was the wrong time for Microsoft to try to push the digital stuff.
Exactly.
People weren't ready for it. People just weren't ready for it.
Exactly.
Still, idea.
But not. Yeah. If they released the PSP now, I feel like it would blow up. It was like just take it to the next level. All digital. Like even if it was all digital, I feel like it would just take it to that next level. All right. To keep it rolling, 13 years ago, 2008, on the DS, Fossil Fighters released in Japan. Not familiar with that title, man. But it seems like it's a fighter. Let me see if I can pull up that information. Oh, Fossil Fighters, dinosaur game. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
Okay,
interesting. You had
we're not talking
about like creatures.
Oh, so it's not like Primal Rage. Remember Primal Rage?
Yes, I remember. Nah, it doesn't seem like it was like Primal Rage.
Yeah,
I do what you're talking about.
All right, fine.
All right, so as we move forward, 2012, PlayStation Vita. Disgaea 3, Absence of Detention.
I love Disgaea games.
I feel like we talked about that. I feel like in the background. I believe it was a different one we were talking about. But
we talked about so many, dude.
Yeah, that's a fact. I didn't have a PlayStation Vita for myself, so for those Vita people, if y'all have some love with this game. If y'all remember playing it, look, Disgaea 3, Absence of a Detention, here for you. Kind of gets you that reminiscing going. On the PC in 2012, he had Forge of Empires. Sounds familiar, but it probably came out in that age because around 2010, I kind of fell out of PC gaming. I was really heavy on the console side of things, multiplayer heavy. I wasn't that invested in the PC gaming at that point, so it probably was one of those that I missed. PlayStation 3, The House of the Dead 4. We talked about that earlier, right?
Yeah, look at that, buddy. Look at that.
There you go. House of the Dead 4, man. There we go. That's the way to bring it around. And then Xbox 360, The Witcher 2, Assassin of Kings. Man, I remember playing The Witcher 2, man, and I was having such a great experience with it. But the one turn off, I can't go back to it. The combat is I tried to do the training part of it, and I was like, yeah, no. Really? It's like this is what it was. Like, I didn't remember it like that. It was so it felt so blocky and so like, oh my god, it didn't feel good at all. Felt very sluggish.
The Witcher, but
yeah, Witcher's been great, but yeah, that one wasn't it. No,
story was really good though.
Yeah, throughout all the Witcher games, it seems like the story of them, they know what they're doing with the story wise. It's just the gameplay has been keeping up. But again, we can have a whole conversation with that, because it seems like a constant trend that they release new games and they come out semi-broken. So, but they're always solid story games. Like for the story, the foundation that they're sitting on, they're always solid. But anyway. So as we move in 2014, Android, I don't know if you guys were playing this on your phone, but Dragon Quest IV, Chapters of the Chosen. That released in Japan, for those who might be interested in that. On 3DS, we had Nintendo Pocket Football Club. Phoenix,
whatever that was.
Yeah, whatever that was. Let's pull that up real quick. Oh man, look at that cute little picture right here.
Come on, man. Don't even pull that crap up, would you?
3DS, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. I don't know if that was a lawyer strategy game, but maybe I'll have some fun with that.
What? Phoenix Wright?
Yeah, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah,
there you go. For those handheld fans that came out on the 3DS, in Japan,
it's out on Xbox now.
Oh, really? Okay. What?
Oh, yeah, we got the whole trilogy.
If it's on the Xbox, go check it out. You might be into it, man. Again,
it's on PlayStation too.
There you go. Android. Right. I didn't know that they released this on the Android in 2014. The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. They brought a Spider-Man game to your phone. Hey, so as Sony would tell you, if you want Spider-Man, you can either buy a PlayStation or you can play it on your Android device. But no.
Moving that way anyways.
Hey, as we see. Again, that's dope. The fact that they brought it out, I didn't know that they did that, so that's pretty dope. And then PC War Game Red Dragon. Sounds familiar, but again, I still wasn't invested into the PC space at that time.
PC.
So yeah, so if you guys have some memories with that, go ahead and shout us out in that chat. Okay, and then we go moving to 2017 on Android, Standoff 2. I'm not familiar with that title. I'm not a mobile gamer, man. I don't like playing games on my phone. I don't know if it's a small screen or maybe it's just a setup.
For the most part.
I'd rather be on a TV on a bigger screen, just getting into it, or even if it's on a monitor. Just I don't know. I guess it's more so environment for me. We've grown up, man, and it's like I've played handheld devices for so long when I was growing up. Now when you have that expectation of it being on the big screen, being able to see so much or whatever,
I get it.
I got turned off of split screen games for a long time because
turned off of split screen. Wait, hold on.
Not us.
That's our name. For God's sakes, man.
Because we're coming at you living in split screen. But you can't. You got screen watchers. You got people that like to cheat. You know what I mean? It's like, man, stop looking at my screen. I need a different screen. I need my own screen. But
let me tell you this. And you probably remember. You are close enough to be old enough. But 25-inch Mitsubishi TV, right? Tube TV back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Playing 4-player split screen. I don't know how we did it. I still to this day don't know how we did it.
Even with the TVs that had the VCR and DVD like players in them, and they were like smaller TVs, they might have been like you were saying, 24-inch, 27-inch TVs. They only had the AV put. I remember even playing Halo on those TVs. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Right. It's my God, 007 back in the day. Are you kidding me?
Perfect example. 007 on the Nintendo 64.
Are you kidding?
4-player co-op, and we're all trying to.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Play it like you need a magnifying glass to see anything, man.
Exactly. But back in the day, we loved it. We loved it. No, it's all good. I mean, again, that's what this segment is for. Reminiscing, man. Bringing the life back to these games.
Like Trevor says, stop screen boning. Yeah, you're right, Trevor. That's what we just.
There you go. The kind of move forward. 2018 on the Nintendo Switch, they released Wild Guns Reloaded. Not familiar. And then PlayStation 4, Yakuza 6, The Song of Life.
Oh yeah.
So again, as we're seeing, the Yakuza games are now coming to the Xbox platform. Now Sega's getting that extra attention, those extra eyes, and who knows? Yakuza can now move on forward as a multi-platform game.
Got Judgment dropping.
Yes, and now Judgment's dropping. So it's exciting news, man. And then as we move into in recent years, 2019, Cuphead released on the Nintendo Switch, and then Katana Zero, both excellent games. If you haven't not touched those games, I believe they're available on all consoles. Go play those games, man. Speaking of indies, those are two that, if you have not jumped into it, that you probably should have. I still have been sleeping on them. Again, for like games like Cuphead and Katana, I don't always have somebody that I can just run these games with. You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe I slept on them, but I know for sure all the hype and all the energy that is brought to these games, at least to just round off the Today in Gaming topic, it just kind of sheds light on gaming in total, man. Again, indies are important to everything that we're doing. The more that we shed light onto them, I think the more that, again, as we move into this golden age of gaming, we're going to see more and more indies set that. I feel like indies are going to move into a point where they're going to set the bar, right? They're going to set the bar for
a lot of ways they could. In a lot of ways they could. So, for sure.
It's exciting news. It's exciting news.
Absolutely. No, it's all around. I mean, that's what it's about right now. So again, there's more people coming into this space than ever before, and that's in all areas. Yes. We got so many new developers, and I know everybody's worried, or a lot of people are worried about the consolidation of the gaming industry and all these acquisitions and all this talk. Guess what's going to fill that void? When those acquisitions happens, all that does is make room for newcomers. That's all it does. It makes room for new. And again, the labels with the AAA, AA, whatever, I don't care anymore. I just play games to play games. And if I love them, I love them. I don't care if they're big or small, but that's exactly what's going to happen. So when those voids are created, when those purchases and acquisitions are made, that's just going to give more opportunity for new people to jump into that spot.
100%.
And take over. And we're going to see new talent. We're seeing it everywhere. We're seeing it again. People, tip, all you people trying to follow the industry, you want to be on the cutting edge, take a look at the Eastern markets, not Japan.
Yes.
Take a look at South Korea and China. Awesome. That's where a lot of new talent's coming out of. And again, politics aside from some of those places and what that all means, there's talented developers, kids, adults, have dreams about making a video game, and there's some crazy stuff coming out of there right now. So that's where we're just seeing a blossoming of different talent from all over the world now, 100%. Because video games have now hit that market everywhere, and the tools that are available to people, especially like Unreal and Unity, the tools that are available now make it possible for small teams or even individuals to start creating their dreams that they've had, and they look phenomenal. Not everybody's got the same style. Not everybody uses everything. It doesn't have to be realistic.
Exactly.
You're seeing high quality stuff coming out of smaller teams and smaller development houses than ever before. You're seeing a change. And again, when we see these acquisitions, people freak out, and I understand, we don't want to see everybody owned by Microsoft. We want to see everybody owned. You want to see exclusives all the time on Sony. I get that. But again, it does create more opportunity for smaller people to come into those spaces and say, hey, we've got a new small little game. Check us out, and become the next big thing. And that's what's great about this industry. It's evolving all the time, and it continues to replenish itself as well, because more and more talent's coming in. So that's all I'll say about that.
And that's 100%. I 100% agree with you on that. The only caveat or add on that I would add to that is
add away
again. Again, I feel like that's what's most important about what Microsoft is doing. As much as we don't want, let's say, a monopoly of the gaming, I want to say, of the gaming business, Microsoft is also doing it in a way where they're promoting accessibility, they're promoting ease of use, ease of access, and I feel like that can't be understated enough. If it's going to take for Microsoft to be like, oh, we're monopoly, they're owning everything, but you have access in almost 5-6 different forms to get to that content, it's kind of hard to argue with it, because you could say, oh, but it's not coming to PlayStation. Yeah, but you also can't be so bougie and so stuck up in your own ass.
Just say bougie.
Yes, bougie. I gotta say bougie, but you can't be so bougie and stuck up in your own ass. If you're a gamer, if a company is saying, hey man, here's 5 or 6 different options we are giving you at 10 to 15 bucks a month, even if it was 20 to 25 for you to play this 300 plus amount of games, what kind of fool would you be as a gamer to say, nah, I'm good, I don't want that, I just want my exclusive games?
Get it?
Again,
you're right.
To each his own. Again, I as a gamer, and we as gamers, I fall in the belief that we should not be able to tell each other or try to set barriers for who is not gamers. Now, can we pull some cards? Can we say, hey, did you really play these games? Or, hey, do you really have a solid input? Yeah, we can do that. I mean, because again, we don't want fakeness within what we enjoy neither. We want honest, we want energy, we want, as I say, again, cannot be understated enough, live, raw, and uncut talent within our industry to help represent gaming in the best light that it can be possibly represented in. Because as of today, still, the pandemic is kind of like Marty McFly. They jumped into that DeLorean and they hit that, what was it, 55 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, or was it 88? Come on. I can't remember. Anyway, either way, they hopped into that DeLorean. They went into the future. They said Game Pass is it. And they came back and said, look, we know what the future is. We know where we're going. And we just want you guys to buckle in and be ready for what's coming. And with that being said, man, Pong, another excellent show. 2 hours again. Over 2 hours again.
Awesome show.
Consistently.
Oh, man.
We're
just killing it.
We never planned
I'm going to
these
toot
things,
my own horn. I'm going to toot our horn because you know what? We are here. We came together because we love talking about video games, and that's what we've been doing every Saturday since we started this. I love it, and I think we are absolutely killing it, Steel. I have such a good time here with you, and these 2 hours just fly by. Yes. It's insane, man. It's insane. Special shout out to Marion the Mad again. Great friend in the community. Thank you so much for dropping that code. JNL. Was the winner. He's the one that got it redeemed. But again, special shout out to Marion. He just volunteered out of the blue, just said, hey guys, I want to do a giveaway on your show. Do you mind?
It's much love, man.
Dude, this community is full of great people and amazing people that I've had the opportunity to meet. You, Steel. But there's so many out there that people aren't aware of. Marion is always in people's chats. Marion is always a big member of the community. There's a lot of people like him that just, they don't do content creation, so people don't know who they are, but they're out there. And I started as one of them. But I just want to say, again, this community as a whole is really amazing. You're always going to have your bad seeds, but man, no, I can't believe I'm here, and I can't believe I'm doing this, bro, and I can't believe I'm doing it with you especially, but I can't believe how many phenomenal people I've met. And truly, like Mav talks about this, Fun Speculation talks about this behind the scenes too, that when I think about the pandemic, when I get older, because I'm already old, but when I get older and I think about back about this time, I'm not going to so much remember how bad it was, but I'm going to remember jumping into this community and what that did for me personally, and all the wonderful people that I've met who are now my friends and extended family that I consider that way, like yourself, Steel. So I just think it's crazy. But again, shout out to Marion. He's a great dude. Anybody who's still here listening, if you aren't following Marion the Mad, go follow him. He's just a great part of the community, generous dude, and just a super positive guy. So go follow him and just keep looking for all these good people. Again, good people find good people. You know, that's my saying. Good people do find good people. Keep searching, because there's a lot of us out there, and we can all get together and make this a just even better place to be, and be excited about video games, because this is fun. That's what the video games are all about, man. Just having fun. So that's all I'll say. That's my rant for the day.
and again, as we ramp it down and get the show ended. Look, again, for those who don't know, man, living split screen every Saturday morning. We're doing this because we feel like we have the best energy. We have the best. We keep it live, raw, and uncut, and there's nobody out there doing it like we are doing it. It's not only about bringing the energy. It's about being true to you, being official about what you bring, being confident within yourself, and overall. Like the cool kids say nowadays, or I say within my common speech.
You're a cool kid, because you're a cool kid.
I could be debated, but I haven't had these issues, but I wouldn't either confirm or deny. But with that being said, we don't have to cap. We don't have to lie. We don't have to make some absurd or come from some absurd angle to get the love or whatever the case might be. And the fact that you guys are tuned in shows us that. That was the whole central point of us doing this, because we felt like nobody else could do it the way that we would do it. And hopefully we continue to progress, to continue to get better from the support of you guys, and just supporting each other, man. Look, we're in it to win it. We're here to get to where we're looking for the top, man. And in any way, shape, or form that we can do that, while also maintaining our own, I want to say, I don't want to say ego, because that sounds weird. But maintaining our own, what will be
personality?
I'm not gonna say personality, but like backbone, what we stand for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
While maintaining everything that we stand for, not changing it up, and just being 100% honest with you guys. That's what we're doing it for, man. And we appreciate it. Living Split Screen, your new Saturday morning show. We're on episode 4, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. UK time. Come check us out. Come get your coffee, your energy drinks. If you're just about to sit down and eat dinner, or maybe eat late lunch, come check us out, man. Come tune in, hit the like button, share it out with your mama, your girlfriend, your daddy, and their stepchildren, and just get our name out there, man, because I feel like we're bringing the soul back into gaming. And I don't, when I say soul, I don't just mean, that on the ethnic part of it. I mean literally bringing the SOUL. I feel like we're bringing it down and breaking it down even into the spelling format of soul, to the community, to
love you, brother,
to just to a mass audience, and that's what it's here for, man.
So
but again,
man,
this is organic. We appreciate everybody. Pong, again, if it wasn't for you, man, we wouldn't be doing this, man. It's thanks to you. It's thanks to community.
Takes two. Takes two.
It does take two. Hey, Trevor, one more time, because we're ending the show and we got more bombs. Trevor Farrell Jr., thank you, man.
Anybody,
the Xbox
thank
Game
you,
Pass
brother.
Ultimate code. Hopefully I'll get that. Extend your Game Pass Ultimate help, man. There's more and more exciting news coming, exciting gaming coming. Look, on every side, no matter what platform you're running, no matter what platform you're playing on, there's a lot of we're in the golden age of gaming. We gotta get shirts made. I might even put it on my intro screen, because that's just what it is.
I'm getting a title belt with the golden age of gaming on there. That's what I want. Like WWE, WW, whatever.
Walking around
now.
like The Rock,
walking around with the golden age of gaming.
I think that'd be dope. But anyway, much love, guys. Again,
some final shout outs to Nam Omar, Phantom Kraken, Lemon. We see you. Lemon says, yes, we are out here. Fun. That's right, Lemon. You know it, man. You know we are on the same page with you, brother. Believe in that energy. Believe in loving this industry for what it is, having fun and playing vids and getting to meet new people and just enjoy camaraderie. That's what this is about. Guess what, guys? Play what you love what you play, Appreciate y'all for coming out again today on a Saturday morning. We do love you all. Steel said it better than I ever could because he's my hype man. He's my hype man all the way. This guy gets everybody fired up, but we do. We thank you for coming out today.
Much love.
So,
Much love.
Peace out, and we love you.
With that being said, if you want to do, I feel like the last couple of times we kind of omitted outros, like real outros.
We have omitted outros.
We did personal. We've done like personal outros as far as like our show. But if you want to go ahead and put yourself out there, man. What's going on? Let the people know where they can find you.
Fine. We could do it, man. We could do it. So again, if anybody doesn't know, Pong Steel everywhere, Xbox, Twitter. You can find me there. Otherwise, Friday nights, we'll start Friday nights, just because Xbox Ultimate with Fun Speculation, aka Mav. A lot of people know his channel's blowing up. The guy's almost at 1,000 already subs. Dude, he was just at 500 like a month and a half ago. Like crazy. And his wife, Caitlin. Caitlin's going to start streaming. She just got her computer now, so she's going to start streaming too. We got Assassin Lupa, who is in the chat today. We've got 3-Bit, who dropped by. He probably just woke up and said hi, but that's okay, 3-Bit. We love you, man. You got a weird schedule. We got Psychonauts. We've got, and of course, Assassin Lupa. I already said Assassin Lupa. Lady AF, who also dropped by in the chat. So we're calling ourselves the Magnificent Seven at this point. Xbox Ultimate Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 o'clock Central time. You know, to find me here every Saturday morning, living split screen. You guys already know that because you're here. Come check us out again next week. Episode 5. I can't believe it. And then Saturday nights, you can find me on the Shop Podcast with PTK Blam, Fuzzy Belvedere, Centurion, and Stagorilla. Tonight, we have Lord Sovereign on from Iron Lord's podcast, a rare sighting indeed.
Yes.
That man outside the realm doesn't get to do or doesn't do a lot of podcasts. So this is going to be a special one tonight. And hey, quickly, if you guys didn't check out Xbox Ultimate because maybe you were checking out GRG or one of the other fabulous shows, we had Dealer Gaming on last night on Xbox Ultimate. Go watch it. Go check out Mav's channel. Go watch it. It was a great show. We had a fun time over there. And then Tuesdays, you can find me at Xbox Factor Podcast, the second Xbox Factor podcast of course, Mr. Boomstick, who also dropped by today, Double Barrel Gaming. And you can check me out there with him and Zemi Games on Tuesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central time every Tuesday. And then I did want to give a quick shout out. I've been doing this on each one. Later today, Wandering Dutch, the famous one, who also he was in here today, wasn't he?
Was Dutch in here? I don't think I saw Dutch.
Anyways, today at let me get the times. I think it's 3 Eastern time. Dutch has put together what he's calling the Community Indie Showcase. Funny enough, we were just talking about indies today, but he's putting together Community Indie Showcase 2021. He put together this. Anybody who's watched Dutch also know he does high quality stuff. His production values are through the roof. Got a great group of guys over there at Midweek Mix Up, but he put together this showcase of 77 indie games that are coming out. And he asked members of the community to just have small parts in some of the introductions. I'm one of them. Fun Speculation's one of them. Mr. Boomstick's one of them. Cog's one of them. There's so many people involved. Goat Force Gaming's involved. There's so many people he's got, but he's got 8 creator hosts, and then he's got even a developer 2 are appearing as well, but he's going to be premiering this new showcase today, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT. So go check that out over on his channel. You can find it on YouTube underneath. What is he under? Is he under Wandering Dutch or is he under Midweek Mix Up?
I think it's under Midweek Mix Up, I believe.
Midweek Mix Up. I always forget which one it is. But yeah, go find him out. Go look him up on Twitter, Wandering Dutch. It's going to be an awesome show. It's going to run about 2.5 hours. Dude, he's put a lot of work into this thing. This is a huge premiere for him. So that's why I want to give it a special shout out. And I'm just honored to have a small piece in it. But this is the great stuff the community is doing. It's free. This is free marketing. This is how great this community is, man. Like, exactly. Nobody asked him or paid him to do this. He just decided to do it for the love of gaming. Again, that's what we're talking about. So anyways, that's where you can find me. Again, guys, been awesome. Thank you all for coming out. Play what you love what you play. And Steel, you got to let them know where they can find you as well, too, man.
That's 100% a fact. Look, man, for anybody who cares, go to Twitter. Go to Twitter. Maybe go to YouTube and type in I Steel Brain I. The T is a 7. And come holler at me, man. Whether it's the DMs or whether it's the mentions or whether you want to just jump in the comments and have a conversation, come talk to me, man. Other than that, Friday nights, we on GRG, 8 p.m. Central. Just kicking it with y'all, man. Basically wrapping up the week worth of news, and just getting together with the boys and just breaking down, or even the girls, because we've had some fire additions to our show. But if you're not too caught up in peeping Xbox Ultimate, I know we're kind of competing right now, but check out GRG, man. It's not. It's off.
Two tabs open. I do it all the time.
Facts. Have two tabs open. You can be like Pong. You're in one chat while you're on the show for another.
Exactly. There's a will. There's a way. Do it.
But facts, exactly. But yeah, catch me on GRG Friday nights. Bring that energy, bringing that authenticity. And then Saturday mornings, again, living split screen with a brand new morning show. We're 4 episodes in. Hopefully we'll see y'all in the 5th episode and next week. And look, man, we're here to keep it live, raw, and uncut, as I like to say. And other than that, man, much love to everybody that was in the chat tonight. One more shout out. Lupa said, yes, it's called Wandering Dutch, and Midweek Mix-Up is the name of the podcast. So for those of y'all,
YouTube channel is Wandering Dutch.
Yes. Yeah. And for those of y'all are interested, go check out that. And again, like, share, subscribe, get us out there, man. If you're loving the energy, we're here to keep it authentic. That's what it is. Much love to y'all. Peace.
Later, guys. Gals.